So, if there's anyone in stream, hi, good evening, how are you doing? As you can see, it's 15 past. Stuff happened. Should put Milo a bit lower again. And yeah, because of that we start a bit later. I will correct, whole screen is noped. I also sent you how to do it in peace in Discord.
Yeah, but that's
I know.
I'm confused.
Basically, I was setting up stream, so I had Roll20 open, and Milo was setting things up, which led to me accidentally seeing at least one thing show up on screen.
Yeah, I don't think this one fits anyway.
for like
fine.
1
I'll
second.
The things that I'll do in the background for 500, Alex. All right, so first thing that I will ask is, I heard red dragon. I'm not a red dragon. It was something like that.
He said you did not see a red dragon. It's fine.
No. There is no Oblex behind the curtain, guys. There is no Oblex behind the curtain. So, I will say, would anyone care to attempt to... Oh, gosh dang it. I meant to set that up too. Whilst I sort out a thing, which you may have to come up with an alternate solution for, would anyone care to give us a recap of the last session?
Nay, says I.
Try, I guess.
You know, an attempt. An attempt is what's asked, and I will correct any discrepancies.
Awesome. I got fairly broad strokes, but...
That's okay.
So...
Broad strokes are what we're looking for. No details. Broad strokes good.
Cool. I think I can do that. So we landed at the docks. I can't remember the town that we landed in. Yeah, and it's not on the map. But we walked from there to Ancaster and met a rather frightening bunny. Well, it was frightening after we tried to make it dinner anyway. And all got to see some of our combat skills in action as we killed the bunny. Which turned out to be a lot harder than bunnies should be to kill. Then we found our way to town, to Ancaster, right?
Yes. This is correct.
We got guided into a tavern that had a fight ring down below, and my stupid non-fighter self decided to fight the champion. Got my ass handed to me, but made a friend. And then I believe it was in that tavern that we found rooms? Or was it in a different tavern?
You all actually crossed the street to head to another tavern, which we did sort of hastily at the end of the session, so the details were not really fully scoped out last time. I do have the details of that tavern this time.
This is literally supposed to be a black screen because of the DM.
When we get to that point. There is at least one housekeeping matter, which is that I had the unpleasant surprise during my last session that of course our music bot does not support YouTube links anymore. Yay!
Boo.
Guess who forgot about it until now also? Yay! So guess who just invited another music bot, and we're gonna try it. And so I'm gonna give everyone a heads up, and then attempt the command, and then we can adjust the volume. And then if that doesn't work, we're just gonna go with the absolute hodgepodge fix we went with last time, where I open YouTube in a separate tab and stream it to you all. This has mixed results, but we're gonna roll with it. Because that's
Really?
what's gonna,
Oh, yeah, timestamps are
that's
gone
what's gonna
again.
happen, I guess. So I'm gonna
Let me just quickly press deafening Discord real quick, so she's still doing the opening thing.
Not rap. James decided to face the challenger as well. Right?
Yes, this is correct.
Yay.
Yes, who is Jacob's character, Enoch, who will be with you all in spirit today, but not like, you know, here with us in the session.
Right. That looks
On
suspiciously
the-
not water-like.
This is not water, this is apple cider. This is what I spilled before also, which is part of the reason why it was not a fun thing to take care of.
Yeah, that's
So-
not a fun one to clean up.
It's fine. You know, I wanted variety,
it's
and
on
I
a
got
delay.
variety,
I'm not
just
sure how
not
much
in the way
delay
that I
it's
wanted.
on.
Okay.
Probably turn on that line.
First
as
order of
well.
business is I'm going to attempt the music bot thing. So prepare everyone for a thing to join, and hurt thy ears, potentially, if it's very loud, and if it is, I'm very sorry. Okay, well.
Oh, it's already on 10%.
Not supported
great.
provider.
Yep, alright, well, until I can migrate everything that I use over to Spotify, which, spoiler alert, I don't currently have Spotify music set up, I guess I could ask, would people prefer that I find music on the fly or just, like, go with the sort of hodgepodge stream solution? Like, I don't know if anyone else actually also, like, listens to the music or enjoys it. I enjoy it, so if no one else listens to it, I might not, I won't consider it a big deal, but, like...
I mean, I listen to it, but I don't think it's terribly, like, it's not, like, super detrimental if we're missing it for one, it's not, like, super detrimental if we're, like, missing one, you know?
Yeah.
If we're missing a session, but, I mean, either or.
Yeah, it's nice to have, but it's not a huge lack if we don't.
Alright, so... in that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the separate link with the thing, and I've been told that it can be rather quiet, so just try to turn up the stream volume as loud as you can if you want to listen to music. And I will say, if like you are trying to listen and you hear just jack shit, just like let me know. Okay. Thank you all
I
for
think you
bearing
can
with
also
me.
do a watch party, actually.
Can I? For YouTube?
I think, yeah, because I've done
literally
YouTube,
seen
like, I've
people
watched
do that,
YouTube in Discord before.
Oh, well, shit, y'all. That would
Like,
be
group.
easier. That would be
Yeah,
easier.
where you just, like, where you can just queue up videos in YouTube, and then somebody has the remote.
Alright, now I just have to figure out how to do that. Hold on. Gotcha. Recent restriction, Discord, video stream, but just stream, you watch, cut. Okay. This will be good for next time, but this looks like a process, to be honest, and I don't want to get sidetracked in the process. I apparently have to join a separate server, and I see different. There's a lot of things I have to do apparently for this. At least from the tutorial that I'm looking at. But I mean, let me see. Let me see how long this takes. All right, I have to join this server. Apparently, that's the first step. Great, flawless. Just look for. Oh, this is like.
Well, okay, like, it was never, like, I never joined any external server when I did it. I kind of stumbled through it in the middle of, like, 3 a.m. when I was dicking around with some friends. But, like, if I went into, like, share screen or, like, stream or whatever, and then there was, like, something there. At least as far as I can remember. I might be totally off,
Supposed
though.
to see a rocket icon is the problem, and I don't see a rocket icon.
So how's
For that
the
to
audio
work.
balance so far, Eric?
So
It might also be
Also,
because
how
I
you
have
been?
nitro. I don't know.
that may be a nitro thing.
That's
I
not
would.
not the case. I just checked. I don't have it.
Okay. Point is, I think I'm gonna roll with this sort of hack and slash stream solution for today, unless anyone is like, no, I hate it so much. And then we'll just we'll sort things out. We'll sort things
Yeah,
out.
audio between everyone you can
so,
hear, or at least everyone that has spoken so far. Because
okay.
last time I heard that Milo,
yes,
the
you
DM,
will see, in fact, you know,
had
my
some
tabs or
audio
whatever,
boost
except there's only one tab. You'll see
compared to
my
the rest.
YouTube history, so, you know, don't judge me too hard, kids. Alright.
That's been solved,
I'm going to
but
start
yeah.
it.
Other than that,
Alright, do make sure the stream volume is all the way up if you're like, this is so quiet. If it is still way too quiet, let me know. I'm gonna give people a second to do that if they would like to do that.
dropping 8 and 15% then. Alright. Yeah, I don't think Kira has spoken yet. Evan literally hasn't spoken yet.
Yes, please.
Oh well. Anyway. Yeah, I already dropped
Alright,
Milo
I'm not
by like 15%.
hearing any issues with that, so. Is everything like good for anyone who's in the stream?
Damn, you added for anyone that's in the stream to it. Now I can't
know.
complain about not
I
hearing
know.
it.
I know. It's really terrible. And as always, thank you all for bearing with me. I appreciate that. Okay. So I had to put together English words in my brain in a way that would make brain. Is Evan like around, or should I wait?
I'm here.
Okay, you're here.
He's got Bluetooth headphones.
I
Nope.
have
Oh,
fancy
fuck you.
Bluetooth headsets.
Eric,
so make
fuck
that
you.
happen real quick.
No, you're all good. I just wanted to make sure, since I didn't know what happened, so I wanted to check like if you were, you know, in the bathroom. I don't know if you take your headset with you to the bathroom. I don't know what other people do.
Sure.
All right. Aside from our hack and slash music solution, any other pre-session comments, questions, concerns? I know Aiden has to leave partway through today. Is there anything else that needs to be discussed? Okay. What I'm hearing is no. So, oh, y'all. Okay.
Oh, I need to pull up my notes. Brain.
That could be helpful.
I mean, I'm on D&D Beyond before the game starts, so I'm doing better than last time.
This is true.
I mean, I've clicked record, so I know for sure that my notes are there.
Nice.
Yeah, I started recording the other session actually, cause like, I was like, oh, I need to remember what the hell I said to these people.
What the hell? What?
Is everything good?
No.
Okay.
I can't. It's no. I'll be fine. I can't write notes apparently.
Okay. Sorry, I got worried that your character got deleted, and I'm like, we might have a problem if that is the case.
My character's good. I just have
Okay.
no idea why I can't do anything on my Word document. I should probably be using something other than my Word document, to be honest, but that's what I have.
Okay.
Except apparently it's not.
So, I have an initial question for you all, which is, I believe I asked people to subtract 1 gold for a room last time. If not, it will be 1 gold a room for this place. So, I will ask, would anyone have bunked together? Or would you all have opted for separate rooms?
Aga would definitely,
Separate.
yeah, Aga would definitely have gone for a separate room.
Yeah, I
Okay.
definitely am in a separate room as well.
Same.
Okay. So, you all wake up in all of your little separate rooms. And you all would probably wake up around like 8 a.m., not too early. I mean, you know, like the last night would have been pretty late. Y'all would not have really gotten into this place, gotten settled, got to sleep until probably close to midnight. You know, I mean, like 11, midnight, you know. So y'all would wake up around 8 in the morning. I can tell you all that you all are staying at a place called the Crowbar. Last night you would have been greeted by a Kenku who owns this establishment. So, what do you all do when you wake up?
Is
I'm
any
going
of
to
my
assume go downstairs and potentially get food as a start.
Breakfast beer.
Breakfast beer? All right. So, as you go downstairs, the Kenku, you know, sort of like turns around and gives you a friendly squawk and says, "No good tiefling, but a dead tiefling." And then the Kenku sort of like covers its beak and sort of gives you an apologetic shrug, like, "That was the last time I heard tiefling. Sorry, bro." And then says, "What can I do for you?"
I love Kenku so much. I play one later.
I would love some ale, my friend.
Nothing cures a hangover like more beer. Ale. What? The Kenku sort of like nods and then sort of like scurries around behind the bar, and will hand you a nice breakfast beer, and will say, "Give me my money or I'll cut your throat." This is a great establishment, by the way.
I fucking love Kenkus.
And how much is it?
I love this Kenku.
1 gold. Or your
Alright.
teeth.
I will. That is an expensive ale.
Cost as much as the room.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and apparently the first gold didn't get taken off. Okay.
Yes, I will
Oh.
say the rooms are quite small. For separate rooms especially, you're pretty much in a bed in a shoebox. It is good ale, by the way, for what it's worth. It's probably some of the better ale that you've had, despite the sort of vague, probably not genuine death threats from the barkeep. So, as the rest of you all come downstairs, you would see Evict sipping on a lovely breakfast beer. Will anyone else be partaking of rations or booze this morning?
Come downstairs, and today I am sporting very mousy brown hair, and notes, kind of rubbing my eyes, rubbing the sleep out of them, and holding in, like, just in one fist, a doll. And I'll come downstairs and kind of blink around, and then when I see Evict, I'll go sit with him and, may I have some eggs and fruit and bacon?
The Kenku sort of like pauses and blinks for a moment, and then sort of tilts its head as if it's like fishing for some kind of phrase to give you, and then says, "Bananas are for losers, but quail eggs are delicious. Hay is for horses," and then turns around and scuttles back into the kitchen.
I'm just
You
gonna.
can generally divine that as there's no fruit, but the rest of that request can be fulfilled.
Yeah.
Um,
Eggs and bacon works for me.
eggs and bacon, yes. And the Kenku does indeed return with some eggs and bacon, and then sort of hold out a taloned hand, holding up, one of its talons on the other hand.
Give it a gold.
Yep. It will gladly
Thank you.
accept. You're very welcome. Watch your back.
She'll literally look behind. Okay.
Yep. The Kenku continues muttering to itself, as it sort of putters about the bar. For any of you who do wish to partake of breakfast or booze, just subtract a gold from your inventory. If you want to bargain for prices, if you order something cheaper, feel free. Tempting bargain with a Kenku is a task in and of itself, and you do you, basically. Aside from that, you all are able to sit together, assuming you sit together, at one of the larger tables in the tavern. It's relatively empty, being early. A couple of their patrons come in, but mostly you just hear the occasional squawks of the Kenku in the background. It seems to just talk to itself half the time. And I was like that log and a child. It sort of just is doing its own thing. The question is essentially, you all might as a group recognize that while your objective is eventually to get beyond Ancaster, there of course is currently part of a large city ahead of you. You all might remember that you ended up in sort of the northern part of the Thornsboro, which is sort of like the rough side of town, but relatively near because you all were heading towards Newchester, which is the northern merchant district. The question is whether you all will continue on to Newchester, whether you want to go to any other part of Ancaster before you depart, and if you have a game plan beyond that point, presumably to get to Marinshire, but these are all things that your characters may wish to consider.
So I didn't get this in beforehand because you continued on, but first thing Aga would do would check his bag at all times when he wakes up. Just check his bag. Is everything still in there? I assume nothing's missing because
Roll me a luck check.
Luck. Oh, for fuck's sake! That's a D100, right? Or a D20?
Nah, just regular D20.
An 8.
An 8. You, when you wake up, find that you're missing a button of some kind. Whatever item of clothing or object you own that might have a button upon it, that button is gone.
Well, shit.
But everything else is still there. Don't worry, it's not the most important button. If it was your fly button, nah, it's a different button. Don't worry about that.
No. Yeah, other than that, I'll just sit at the table and eat one of the shit rations I bought.
Okay. Would you all be doing anything else? Talking to each other? Asking the barkeep any questions?
While I'm eating, I'm
definitely kind of keeping. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Rap is definitely kind of keeping to himself. He's just ridiculously embarrassed right now about the fact that he let loose yesterday on the bunny. Other than that, I mean, he's just kind of keeping to himself. He's quieter and kind of flags down the crow and just kind of asks for some form of breakfast. Eats it kind of silently.
That's a bird! The service here is terrible. The Kenku wanders away. But presumably your request was heard and taken into consideration.
Cool.
I'm done with breakfast, I'm gonna actually go over and I'm gonna go sit with Rap and look at Lacey. She's really pretty.
Yeah, she is.
So are you.
Thank you. Sorry, I don't get that a lot.
But your feathers are so pretty.
Sure. Did I miss one? And he's like kind of like immediately like kind of patting around him, like seeing if he hasn't like missed getting rid of one, like hiding it or plucking it.
Okay, so he's a Birdman.
Don't you always have at least a couple?
She's
Nah,
apparently
she's got,
an
like,
entire system of personalities.
Like he's got
I'm
like
just
ridges.
I was looking at your character art. I thought you always had some feathers visible.
Nah, the feathers are like he's got like this feathered
Yeah,
Oh.
like the wings have kind of been wrapped
it's
into like
mostly
a cape.
theater of
try to
mind,
hide
so it's all in here
Okay, got
mostly.
it. No, I just meant
Yeah.
your cape. Are they her
Like,
feathers?
for the combat, they'll join.
No,
But the
they're
character
mine.
sheets, for example, are like
But
physical
I try
or
to keep that on
D&D Beyond,
down
so
low.
they have their sheets
Don't
somewhere
worry,
else.
I won't tell anyone.
Thank you.
They're really pretty though.
You also change, right? Like you change your look different from last
Yeah,
yesterday.
yeah, kind of.
What is that about? You don't have to share. You don't have to share.
I look different when I feel different.
I guess we're not too different.
I guess not. Lacey's not just
you
a
kinda-
bird though, is she?
What do you mean?
She's smarter than birds. Or
I
any
mean,
bird I know
sure.
anyway.
She's clever, yeah.
She's not
But
just
I
a
mean,
pet.
no. She's definitely different. She's definitely unique. But I wouldn't say that she's anything special. I mean, she's special to me, but I don't know. She was a gift. I don't really know much about where she came from.
Who's she a gift from?
Someone I knew a long time ago.
You don't have
who-
to tell me your secrets.
She's yeah. I'll leave it at that.
Is she nice? Can I pet her?
Oh yeah, no, Lacey's totally cool. Lacey kind of hops off my shoulder and kind of onto like the table, and kind of like hops up a little bit towards you.
No. Pet her.
Lacey just loves the attention.
She's preening. She's soft.
Wattle birds are interesting. That's for sure. They're definitely softer than a lot.
I'll kind of just chatter for a little while longer, but nothing important.
Yeah.
Keep petting the bird.
Yeah. I will say, if Rap will allow it, roll me an animal handling check,
No.
to pet Lacey.
Wait,
Yeah.
me?
Yeah, you. Roll an animal handling check to pet the bird.
Oh no. I'm I'm about to get decked. I'm having deja vu from my gnome getting damaged from this. Although, to be fair, I was trying to feed that one. You've been nice to me so far. I just jinxed it, but we'll see. Nope. Oh, wait. Nope, that's cocked. Never mind. I can't see that at all. That's better. Animal handling, 12.
Yeah. Lacey seems to respond positively to your affections, and perhaps, of course, with Rap's discretion, would give her sort of an affectionate, like, little bird nuzzle, like, oh yes, I love the pets.
Oh yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
100%. All right.
At some point, I'll probably stop talking to Rap and just start crooning to Lacey directly.
Sure.
So, would the rest of you do anything particular during this time, or just eat your breakfasts? I assume just sort of sit and
definitely
eat?
just kind of eating his breakfast, but he feels a lot better
Yeah, for sure.
after that.
I mean, I'm keeping an eye on the Kenku, since most Kenkus are mostly known for being sketchy.
Yeah, roll me like an sort of an active perception check.
Play a Kenku. She's not.
Well, that's a 5.
Yeah, she is.
You don't really notice anything particular. The Kenku obviously doesn't hear some of your stuff. You sort of catch some of the phrases that the Kenku says here and there, but mostly the food in front of you is really good. Ega like food good.
Even if
you
it's
hear
a
more
shitty
smatterings
ration.
from the Kenku as it greets other customers. Dragons spew fire. Politicians spew shit. But then it sort of just continues like meandering about the tavern. You do hear a rather hilarious number of comments of something along the lines of, "What is this weird bird? Why is it saying what I'm saying? The service here is terrible." You hear a lot of Karen phrases coming back out of the Kenku's mouth. At one point, a gnome comes up to buy a porridge, and the Kenku goes, "This porridge is watery. My toddler's stool is thicker." And so it's a rather comical scene, but you can tell that at least for some nearby in the community, the Kenku is indeed a beloved figure. However, after eating your all's breakfasts, the question does remain of where you head next. If anyone needs me to repeat the basic information of the city or draw a layout, let me know. I believe last time you all were headed to the merchant district. Is that still correct? Because I believe at least one person still needs to do shopping.
I did suggest going to the north side, because the south was just books, so I didn't care about it.
Yes, the south side is where the university is located. Nonetheless, you all technically have options. Converse, discuss, debate. If anyone is interested in the university, if people are interested in shopping, if people want to just kind of go straight through the city as fast as possible.
I'm kind of along for the ride on this one.
Rap is kind of interested in the university.
Okay.
Certain. I feel like he would definitely kind of like, not like trying to like go inside or anything or like explore it, but he's trying to find like any kind of like information booth or like maybe like a recruiter that's kind of like nearby trying to get people in.
Okay.
Or
Yeah,
roll.
absolutely. All right. So it sounds like Rap is heading for the university. Will the group plan on heading for the university in that case?
I mean, I don't care if we do it at the same time, but I do need to go shopping. I don't have enough rations for this trip.
Okay.
We can do one then the other, or I can go off.
Does this
and
come
do
with
that.
rations?
Doesn't matter to me.
No, it comes with.
I will say, so one thing I will say is, let me just like talk to you real quick, DM to player Aiden, which is if you want, since the rest of the group mostly like needs to go shopping, from what I understand, this would be a convenient time if you need to go do homework where you'd be splitting off from the rest of the party,
Oh,
and
I
we
got
could
it
role
up
play it later.
here
But
too.
okay,
A little bit, but I mean, I need kind of like, cause I'm editing my midterm.
okay,
So
yeah,
it's intensive. But
No, I understand. I guess I'm just saying, like, you know, it's sort of one thing where if you wanted to exit relative, like, on the sooner side, which I don't want to make you do, like,
sure.
you know, otherwise we'll probably, my guess is go shopping and then go university. Or maybe
Sure.
go university and then go shopping since you have to leave. I wanted to get a feel for, like, when, like, I know you said you had to leave partway through, but, like, when you needed to leave, like, if you want to hang
How
out with
about
your...
I'll probably head with wherever the rest of the party is going, and then I can just leave for the university at some point.
Okay, sounds good. So how about
And
this?
then
We'll
dip.
go shopping, and then if it's okay, I'll nab you for like a one-on-one basically at some point, and then we'll like do the
Alright.
university stuff. And then if anyone else wanted to go to
Sure.
the university, we'll just figure that out. So, okay, cool. Thanks. Sorry, I know that's like a little breaking of the immersion, but I'm just like, oh, this is like sort of a natural thing happening. So, okay. You all are able to head whatever. You all are able to head north to oh god, what did I name the shopping district? My goodness. Newchester. Which is the shopping district. So my first question to you all is what, if anything, would your characters be looking for specifically? The other thing that I'll point out, and this would have likely been a logistical conversation while sitting at the tavern, is the 50 gold that you were given will need to cover such things as rations while you're on the island. While you're on the Isles, for example. You might need to set aside some for transportation, or, you know, obviously figure out how to pay your way. One question would be if anyone has any particular cooking skills, or like Goodberry or something. If so, they could be the group cook. Otherwise, you all will need to somewhat plan rations. So.
Rations are exactly what I need to pick up, yeah.
Okay.
Although if there's any, like...
I mean, we
yeah,
have
rations are what I need to pick
we
up.
have a druid, right?
Here, yes, but the question is whether said druid has spells such as Goodberry and would have also potentially disclosed this to the group during a planning session that as of yet has not happened in character.
No, that's what I'm just saying.
We're out of.
As a nod to the druid for maybe.
Kara.
What?
Oh, do you have Goodberry? Or something like that?
I
Can you
do
feed
not.
us?
Okay.
I do not have Goodberry.
So,
Yeah, we probably should actually have, like, an in-character, like, this is what I can do kind of conversation. But
Oh,
that would be
so far we
helpful.
haven't.
I mean,
So far you
haven't,
have not.
and I'm not going to be the one who... And my character is not one to initiate such things, so... But she is one to say, I don't have enough food for this trip, so I'm going to go shopping.
Excellent.
Ega
if you
doesn't
are...
know
Oh, go ahead.
how long the trip is. I have rummages through his bag. 9 days.
Anyone who hears Ega say that, and Ega himself may roll me an intelligence check. Just a straight intelligence check.
Oh, hey, that's still pretty good. That's a 13.
That's an 8.
I'm not even gonna bother.
I mean, I bothered with my negative too.
Okay. Alright, give me those rolls one more time for anyone who did roll.
13. And I heard...
Okay. Rap, you don't know shit. Ega. Isles apparently barren. Not much food on Isles. Likely long trip. maybe lot more rations than have. Maybe twice as much amount. Ega can count to 2. 2 times. 2 times amount currently have. That good number. What is number? I don't know. But good food, more food good.
More food good, yes.
More food good. That's what Ega can in fact glean from his surprising 13. It would appear that Deanna's character, who as I believe not have yet introduced herself today, is at least attempting to lead the way to essentially what would be a general store to purchase rations, sort of basic adventuring supplies, basically. I will say I don't think your character is from Ancaster or Wisteron at all, so roll me an investigation check normally. If anyone is from Ancaster or has lived here, feel free to attempt to help if your character would. Otherwise, it'll be that straight into investigation check. Words so good. English.
I mean, I don't think I've actually been here before, so not that I can help.
I got a 16.
16? Okay, awesome. You are able to find the general store before too long. As you wander through the merchants district so far, there's nothing crazy interesting. You might be briefly distracted by, like, you know, a cart of some kind, maybe like, you know, selling some snacks because they smell good. But so far it seems pretty standard. This seems sort of like, at least, you know, for your character, like boring stuff, like grown-up stuff, like, you know, brooms and armor and, you know, not like even like fun armor, just like, you know, regular boring brown armor. You then come across what appears to be the general store. You see a sign with sort of like a coiled rope and almost sort of an ampersand, and on either side you see icons of things like food and torches.
This seems likely to have what we need. Can I, by the way, figure out, like, roughly how long this journey is likely to be? So that
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
have, like, months?
Did we get an
weeks?
estimate?
Yes. So I will say, one other thing that truthfully I didn't grant Ega because Ega can't read. I'm sorry, Ega. I will say, again, I still have to write the official draft of the scout reports, but I have all the information from the scout reports that I'm happy to give you all verbally now. And so at least for the exact one, I can also tell you generally. There are, what the scout reports will tell you is that there are essentially 2. I will say, I'm really hoping that this information doesn't contradict something that I said to this group. If I say something that you remember from the first session is like, hold up, that's definitely not correct, let me know and there will be swift retconning. I apologize. I wish it didn't have to be that way, but you know, you all decided to masochistically opt into an ADHD DM and you all chose your coffin that way.
Don't worry, Milo. I will skim through both thoughts and I'll just give you a heads up.
Yeah, no worries. There are 2 separate entrances to sort of underground complexes that have been found. So there have been a total of 3 expeditions. One was 20 years ago, one was 10 years ago, and the last one was 5 years ago. And they're on essentially the first 2 expeditions went to the largest main island. So if anyone wants to pull up the Mondelune map, if they're confused about what the hell I'm talking about, you'll see a large central island right under Assylian Isles. Do I have a version of this that's marked up? You'd think I would. I can if anyone is like, wow, I really am lost. But there's that large central island that's right like sort of under like ENI, sort of right in the middle. And then you'll see the second largest isle down and to the left, essentially right under the eye in Assylian. And those are the 2 where entrances to tunnels have been found. The first expedition 20 years ago found the tunnel on the large main island. And by the way, you all will get this in writing. I promise. I know I keep saying I'll get it to you in writing. You actually will get it in writing. And they heard some kind of like mysterious noise echoing from deep within the tunnels. The report says that it doesn't sound human. It's almost like some sort of screeching, but it doesn't sound guttural or bird-like. It's like high-pitched. The second expedition was 10 years ago and revisited the same tunnel and went probably about like 3/4 of a mile in. Then essentially they got stuck at some sort of room with like blue runes on the walls, and it filled up with seawater. 6 people died. The rest were stuck and they couldn't empty the room, so they retreated. But this was the expedition where the Astrator key and sort of some inscriptions regarding the Astrator were found in essentially one of the like they found at least one like great hall underground sort of type thing. Like I think a sort of a large grandiose room with like decorative shit basically. And then the third expedition found the second tunnel entrance on the smaller island, and they didn't get very far in before let's just say blades met limbs and heads, and they lost some people and retreated to take the others who were losing blood to safety to attempt to save their lives. That is what I can tell you all of the summary of the scout reports. Again, if this contradicts anything too terribly, I will do minor retconning. God, hopefully it does not. But all of that goes to say that you could expect from these scout reports, first of all, knowing that the islands themselves, especially the main island, is decently sized. The main island is truthfully relatively to scale. So like, for example, the large island is probably like, if you put like, it's like an Ancaster and a half across, which, is hours of travel if you were to go straight from one side to the other. Taking into account the underground complex, and knowing that there's like probably at least a mile, what I would say is that you all would be wise to try and pack at least 2 weeks of rations. That is a relatively conservative estimate, but 2 weeks of rations would probably be a good number. 3 would be exceptionally conservative.
Sorry, is that once we get to the island, though? What about the trip to the island?
Yes, and that's the other thing, is I will say if you all are planning to eat rations and not stop at places to eat on your way out, I would pack an additional, like, several days. Probably, like, maybe a week if you want to be conservative. You all could be able to know from looking at the map that once you reach the other side of Ancaster and sort of exit Ancaster, it won't take you too long to get to Marinshire. It'll probably take you about like 2 days to get to Marinshire. As we go, no, the map is not exactly proportionate, and if I tell you a time that seems way too ridiculous, you can call me on it. But don't mince scales on my map, okay? It's an idea. I don't do distances, okay? Thanks. Anyway. I do distances selectively when it serves my needs. But yeah, about 2 days to get to Marinshire. So,
So in total, you said conservative is 3 weeks.
yes. So I will say 3 weeks would then cover you for like the whole journey. That would be if you wanted to be pretty conservative, 3 weeks. You could almost certainly get by in 2 weeks. If you pack less than 2 weeks, you probably do risk running out at some point.
How much, or like how much is each ration?
Well, in order to know that at this particular location, you would have to enter the store and ask the shopkeeper.
Oh, we haven't entered yet. Oops.
You have not entered. You all have stood outside. No one yet has entered the store.
I'm just gonna walk in the store then. Yeah, there's no reason.
Yeah, absolutely. You walk in, and you see a relatively enthusiastic-seeming lizard folk behind the counter, with sort of like orange and black like spots all over, who heartily waves a large clawed hand at you. Welcome, welcome, welcome! How can I help you out today?
I'm looking for rations.
Rations? Of course, we have many types. Now, are you discerning is the question.
Okay, out of character, I'm an idiot and I don't know what that word means.
Discerning is like picky,
picky are you?
basically.
Oh, gotcha.
Do you want the good stuff, or do you not care if you eat, hardtack and jerky?
I will say,
Oh, so
seeing your
that's the rations I
confusion,
have.
the lizard folk will sort of go on and point at some shelves. Well, let's see. Probably the cheapest. I have horse meat, ethically sourced, with relatively few diseases. There's some squirrel meat. The squirrel meat's pretty good. It's a little stringy on the molars, but that's okay. That's what swords are for, right? To pick them out of your teeth. And let's see. On the higher end, we do have real cow jerky. Obviously, we have fresh things of all kinds. We have fruits, apples, bananas from the Amante Islands, kept fresh by magic. Let's see, what else do we have? We have these biscuits. I don't eat these. They look terrible to me. Only the jerky looks good. But hey, if you like eating tasteless, horrible, dry carbs, I can sell you this for real money. The lizard folk sort of like wanders around more and just like points at various things. You get the sense that you could buy fresh food, but there's several different options, essentially tiers of, depending on
Shitness.
quality and fishiness, pun intended, of jerky. There appears to be at least one sort of biscuit-like option. There does seem to be a nicer biscuit option if you don't like cracking your teeth on hardtack. And there is fresh meat, fresh vegetables, and like fresh fruit as well.
Do you have any dried fruit?
Dried fruit. Well, let me see if I can poke around and find something. Chicken balls don't count as dried fruit. Do you like chicken nuts? No? Okay. Yes. We do have some dried oranges. Now, these are a little rare. Last pack on the shelf. But I'll sell them to you for... a whole gold piece. You're nice folks.
I think I need to focus more on the other food, but thank you.
The chicken nuts are a copper, by the way. We have a couple bushels of those.
What you do?
I'll take. Rap will definitely take the orange slices. Those sound pretty good.
Okay,
him.
yeah, absolutely.
And while he's doing that, he's also saying, your protein seems a little bit lacking. I'm a vegetarian.
Oh, you're a vegetarian. All right. Well, let me see. Oh, I suppose you all look like you're looking for stuff that'll keep. I have some root vegetables if those will help. I have some potatoes if you like squishy things. Let's see. What else is this? I have a carrot here. You don't look like a rabbit, but carrots are pretty good. Let's see. What else do I got? Parsnips. Taste like shit on the way in, feel like shit on the way out, but hey, they'll do the job.
Whatever's kind of like the medium, kind of the median in quality. He's gonna try to take like, is there like enough for like 7 days rations?
Yeah, the root
Of that
vegetables
stuff.
he
Yeah.
actually has a lot of.
She's
He seems to
creative,
just sort
I'll
of
give her
overlook
that.
them because lizard folk are more meat folk. So, of
Sure.
course, the lizard folk will, of course, direct you first to the jerky. He has essentially a couple barrels of each, and he tells you that the parsnips are like 5 copper a piece. The potatoes will cost you like 1 silver a piece, and carrots are 5 silver a piece. So you could buy 10 potatoes for a gold, and a potato would be like a ration, like if you cooked
Cool.
it. I would not eat the potatoes raw, but
What
if
could
you find
possibly go wrong?
if you have
I've
a way
got-
to cook them, one will be a good ration. Yeah.
I've got alchemist supplies in a pot.
Oh yeah, you'll be fine then.
Yeah.
100%. So yes,
Cool.
10
Yeah,
potatoes
they'll
for gold.
take that, as well as the orange slices.
I'll take
Yeah.
some of the jerky. How much?
There's your
is
orders,
the-
young man. Although I will say, if you ever decide to come over to the other side, flesh is delicious. What kind of jerky did you want?
How much for the cow jerky?
The cow jerky. That will cost you 5 silver apiece. It is on the pricey end. But hey, there are only so many cows to go around. Yes, there are only so many chickens to go around, but no one's nearly as eager to eat chicken balls. Sorry, what?
Don't they do the thing?
Well, I was just curious, so that would essentially equate to 5 silver a day for a trip? As far as...
That sounds about right.
Okay.
You know. If you... I would say, here's the thing. If you would like to buy sketchy rations, you can pay less. If you want to buy better rations for flavor, you can pay slightly more. They probably do. He probably does have like lamb jerky. That's like one step above cow jerky if you want the finest of jerky. But in general, if you want to go for middle options that will basically give no risk and will serve as fine rations, yeah, like y'all can pay about 5 silver a day.
Okay. I will do 2 weeks worth of that.
But now, friend, we're going to be buying a lot of rations for all of us. Maybe we could work out the bulk discount.
Alright. I see we have a bargaining man here. Alright, I will make you a counter offer. Each of you may have, assuming all of you are purchasing rations here, are all of you purchasing rations today?
Chicken balls.
Oh, Ega.
I'll get my rations elsewhere.
Alright.
Oh, wait.
Wow. For those of you who will be buying rations here, how about this? For everyone who also is willing to purchase a sack of chicken nuts, I will take a silver off your total order. These things have really been sitting around. I thought they'd sell better. I mean, they're delicious.
I mean, he had me at they're cheap.
He sort of like holds out a clawed hand to Evect and like raises, if he had eyebrows, he raises his brow ridges. The guy's gotta move some
Eric,
stock.
5 silver a day is the standard cost for a 1-day ration.
So, I think for 3 of us,
You're thinking of gold.
the rations we need to be getting will be close to 60 gold. Wait, no. 2 is...
That can't be right, because
2 is a gold.
Well, it's...
Mine would be 7.
Well, so...
hold on. Okay, hold on. Let me back up, because hang on. Did I quote 5
So-
silver too? Because potatoes were 1 silver, right? So
Mhm.
no.
So
So
if
that's
it's 5 silver, so for 2 people, that'll be 21 gold for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So then you add on another person, and that'll be another, we'll say 31 gold. Sorry, I was doing 1 gold per person, 21 gold per person, and realized no, it's
I mean, D&D
21
Beyond.
gold for 2 people. So, but yeah, so 1
okay.
silver
Hold on. I'm
off
trying to
or-
think. Hold on. So hang on. I'm sorry. I'm putting my brain cells together. So would be that. So I will say, for the record, like, I will probably let y'all get by definitely on like 2 rations a day, but honestly, like, as long as everyone eats 1 ration a day, I won't really like harangue y'all about hunger. So I guess that depends on like if y'all would like to be well fed, because let's see, if we go by the potato mark, sorry, hold on, I'm remathing through this for a second, because potatoes are 1 silver, so 10 potatoes is a gold, 1 gold.
Mhm.
So
Going
then
by the
essentially-
jerky, not the potatoes.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
if you're buying jerky, then it's more okay. Basically, how much are you? So are you both buying jerky, and then how much? So you would be looking at spending like what, 30 gold total is what you're saying, basically?
So yeah,
That's-
30 is
that
about
is-
the math that I was looking at. So
Yeah,
I was
that's
gonna
30
say
days
we'll do,
each.
Okay.
and then
So,
so
wait,
maybe do.
I won't retcon that, but feel free to drive a harder bargain, by the way, then.
also, yeah, if you're going for saying 30 gold each, you would be looking at 30 days of
No, not
rations.
each.
No, 30
Not
gold
each.
for,
Oh, total.
the
For all
2
of-
of us.
Okay, yeah,
For-
okay.
No, 21 gold for the 2 of us.
Yeah. No, I am tired. I did not sleep last night.
It's all
21
good.
gold for 2 of us to have 3 weeks of rations if we're going for the jerky. which I think he and I
Yeah,
both
so
were.
31 gold for rations for the 3 of us. So, how about we do X amount of jerky and a sack of the chicken nuts, as you are calling them, for say
All right.
29 gold. Oh no, 28 gold.
Coming down from 31? That's just me asking as a DM because I have terrible memory.
So the 31 is for just the jerky. I didn't catch the price of the chicken nuts, but I figured throwing a bag of those on.
They
and
are
taking-
literally a copper. I will not even really make you take that copper out of your inventory unless you buy multiple of them.
But because we're buying so much, I'm like, we'll do
Yeah, and
this.
he's also
we'll get
not
rid of
charging
some-
for the chicken nuts. He's giving them to you to get rid of them.
Yeah, that's
Hmm.
part of the bargain. Is we'll take the chicken nuts if you give us the 3 gold discount. 1 gold discount per person.
Yeah. He sort of then realizes how much you're spending, and goes, "All right, I will give you each 1 sack of chicken nuts, and your 3 gold discount is good. How about that?"
Very good. Thank you.
Of course. Pleasure doing business. Come back for the jerky anytime, and the company, and the rope. He will indeed fork over your jerky, which does come in nice little pouches. The chicken nuts are sort of like if there was like medieval mesh, it's sort of like a mesh bag of them. Sort of like when you buy like produce, except then it's just dried chicken testicles inside. It's probably about a pound of dried chicken testicles.
How long?
I will say, technically this is separately. Ega is also trying to buy said chicken testicles. Yes.
Yes, but I also want to ask him basically, how long will a bag of them sustain you, or at least if they count as rations, for how long would they count as rations?
The chicken nuts. Well, it sort of depends a little bit on luck. You see, some of the chickens, you'll bite into one of them and you'll be like, wow, that is salty. You'll need to drink so much water, it won't go down too good. But others of them can be, pretty mild, pretty pleasant. Guess it depends on how much time they've been spending with the hens. Anyway, that's besides the point. Here's the thing. I don't have any issues with them, but clearly they're not selling for a reason, so he sort of just shrugs at you.
How many
I
days?
think they taste good.
He's just trying to figure out how many.
How
chicken
many
nuts
days
he
chicken
needs for
nuts
a
fill
ration.
me?
Oh,
Ega wants time.
well, a pair of them, probably half a day. That's if you're not too hungry, though. If you're going to be doing lots of intense exercise, I'd recommend eating 4 chicken nuts in the morning and in the evening. Assuming you're subsisting solely off of chicken nuts. That's 8, by the way.
I was gonna
8!
say somebody needs to give him a total here.
How many?
How many do you need? How long? How? All right. Are you all traveling or something?
Yes.
All right. How long are you traveling for?
We're all gonna be gone about 2 weeks, maybe 3.
All right. We'll say 3 weeks. Just to be safe. You can never have too many chicken nuts. All right. So, let's see. There's 20 individual 10 pairs of chicken nuts to a bag. So let's see. Multiply that by. Hold on. I have to do math. I have to do real people math. Then if you need to eat 4 pairs of chicken nuts a day, then hang on.
8 times 21.
It's 168.
Okay, but that's for the individual nuts. So hang on. So 4 times 20. I'll just do this by pairs. Cut things in half. Make things simpler. Okay, so that's 84 pairs of chicken nuts for 21 days. So 84. You'll need to buy 9 bags of chicken nuts if that's all you'd like to eat. It'll only cost you 9 copper, though.
So
Friend, we got
Half
jerky
one.
and 3 of these lovely chicken nugget bags that you are more than welcome to.
We are asking too much math of Ega. We broke him.
The shopkeeper sort of like grabs like 2 fistfuls like of bags and sort of jangles them in Ega's direction. You want 9 bags of chicken nuts? 9 copper.
No, wait, I got confused. 3 bags? 9 rations? 3 bags.
So we have already
3.
acquired 3 bags.
Yeah,
So
but
if you would
I know that I still have
2 if you only bought bags for the 2 of you. I didn't think Rap was part of the deal otherwise, because Rap had bought potatoes separately. Y'all sort of
Yeah,
bought
it
it for
wasn't
the
for
2
Rap.
of you.
So
Okay,
It was for the
I
3
was
of us.
trying to get it for all 3 of us.
I
but
understand.
Ega lives in his own little world.
Yeah.
Ega
but-
has his
But
own
I also
You're
still
asking all this?
I also still have shitty rations in my bag, so that's why I'm also very confused about the whole how many should I play. And James said that they would get their rations elsewhere.
Okay,
Mhm.
sorry. Thank you.
Only 3 bags of chicken nuts.
Yes.
All right. Well, hope you get lucky. Don't starve. 3 copper.
I have silver.
All right. He will take the silver and give you change for copper, which I think is it 10 copper to a silver, or is it more?
It's
No,
it
it's 10 to
follows
10 to 10.
stands.
Yes. So you would get 7 copper back.
Except for Lex.
He sort of stares at you for a moment and then just says, take the extra bag. Wouldn't want to see you nice folks be starving because you don't have enough chicken nuts. And he will throw in an extra bag for Ega. So Ega may add 4 bags. And then, yes, for those of you adding the bags of chicken nuts to your inventories, each bag contains, what did I say? I think 10 individual testicles, so a total of 5 pairs of chicken testicles. That sounds right.
Okay, so the 28 gold was between the 2 of us, so we're doing 14 gold each.
Yeah, and
Okay.
that's technically
14
gonna be
gold and
more
a bag of chicken nuts.
I mean, that is technically enough rations for 3 people for the 3 weeks, but having some extras probably will not go amiss.
Yeah.
This is
before we
probably
leave-
correct.
Before we leave, I'm gonna ask him one more. Do you have any candy?
Do I have any candy? What does your kind consider candy?
Sugar.
Sugar. Well, let me poke around and I'll see what I've got. He sort of dives beneath the bar. Roll me a luck check. Roll me a luck check for ya. Roll me one of those luck checks.
Alrighty. No. That'd be a 4.
He sort of pops back over the counter and is holding a single eyeball between his claws. Is this what we eat as candy? I'm not sure if it's different. Nice and juicy.
It's different. Thank you anyway.
Oh, okay. He sort of tosses it back into his gullet and chews, somewhat rather loudly and unpolitely. Anything else I can do for you all?
Nope.
All right. Well. Oh, go ahead.
I got food. got these nuts.
Knew it was gonna come up eventually.
No, Eric, you're thinking
Alright,
of WoW.
Well, you all have a great day. Take care. Come back to Zandaka's Emporium anytime, and I hope your chicken nuts aren't too salty. Stay safe. Good luck.
Alright, and I am
Thank you.
going to offer the bags of chicken nuts that I got with my order to Ega, and if he does not take them, they are just going down an alley.
And you had 2 bags or 3 bags?
I think I wound up with 3 because I was getting rations for 3 people, but
I see Milo holding up 2 fingers.
It doesn't really. You know what? You can add you can add 2 or 3 bags. I think he would have given you 2 since it seemed like we were bargaining for the 2 of you, since Ega was sort of just like planning on buying chicken testicles. But if you want to add 3, it's really not a difference. I mean, you know, if you had asked for him to throw in a 3rd bag, he would have thrown in a 3rd bag. So. I mean, you know, for reference, like, these were like hanging like all like sort of around like behind like the bar. Like there were probably like 30 of these bags like hanging from the ceiling. So I mean he's just like, yep, take your chicken nuts and go.
Just if I am not carrying them with me. If Ega wants them, he can have them.
I'll
Otherwise,
gracefully accept them. That's 70 nuts.
I will
about
let you
10
know.
Cheers, friend.
When you do consume chicken testicles as a ration, there will be a luck check involved. It will not always result in necessarily bad outcomes, but
it'll just
with
end up
chicken
with a mouthful
testicles, you
of
roll the
cum.
dice. I really can't put a spinner on that in any sort of more delicate way, so I'm just gonna say, yep, pretty much. All right, so you all exit that shop. Would anyone else be wanting to do any other particular shopping? Would they lead the group in any particular direction?
Some potions or healing items would be very nice.
All right. Roll me an investigation check.
Oh, this is gonna go well. Hey, that's not bad. I think that'll get me up to a 19. Let me double check. Yeah, 19.
19. Okay. You are, you're able to sort of follow signs, for where essentially like an apothecary type thing, where a potion shop might be. And you, find yourself, outside, one of, those places. You see sort of a little, cheery plant, icon, on the, door. There seems to be soft music coming from within. It seems quite welcoming.
Alright, I'll go in.
Tell
Alright.
Glor to stay outside because glass bottles on shelves and big steel pit bull, and I'll go inside too.
Glor sort of like seems to be chomping at the bit a little bit, but he sort of like whimpers and like lays down sort of with his head between his paws and gives you the sulking look, as you go inside. I say that because that's what my dog does. She just stares at me like. Anyway, inside, it is practically a jungle. The first thing you notice are, aside from any actual shelves or merchandise, there are plants everywhere. If you've ever known a plant person IRL and walked into their living room and it's just full of plants, yeah, like, I mean, there are like little pots hanging from the ceiling, like, there seem to be vines and you can't even tell which plant it's coming from.
Night, Eric.
Behind the counter is
I think Mary's prepping
a
behind me as well. That's
fairy
why I'm
who appears to be just
why
sort of flitting
turned the screen
around,
a bit so my
talking
webcam
at the
wouldn't
moment,
bother her.
too fast to be heard, and rearranging various bottles on the shelves. She's sort of like zipping around behind the counter. She does not appear to have noticed at all that you
Also,
have
let
entered.
me know when I can
Yes,
come
a
over for
fairy.
that beer. That housewarming beer. Just hit me
yes.
up in Discord.
Excuse me.
Hello! Who are you? Oh, hi, customers, hello, what can I help you with? Hi, hello, my name's Snowdrop Speedy Socks. I run this wonderful establishment. This is Snowdrop's Potions and other magical wonders and assorted things, and also plants. What can I help you out with today?
I am enchanted. I have suddenly forgotten what we came here for, and I'm staring at her.
Well, we are heading to on a bit of a long journey, and we're hoping to maybe procure some potions that would help us stay alive.
Potions to help you
maybe
stay alive.
Anything, whatever you feel is interesting.
Oh, interesting. Oh my gosh, of course. Okay, of course. Of sorts. Where are you heading? I could ask that. I mean, of course, I have potions that do all kinds of things, but of course, it's very important to know what you're heading. I mean, I need to know more about your trip. I mean, there are potions for practically everything except making certain things bigger. Unfortunately, magic still hasn't gotten there yet. But, yeah, where are you going?
No magical Viagra.
I'm leaning over to Affect. Flower speaks fast.
Did you call her a flower?
I mean, fairies kind of look like flowers.
No drop speedy socks. Love it.
And we are headed to. I remember things.
Sicilian Isles. Hey, I remember.
Yeah, that place. I had aisles.
Moon.
She sort of like pauses and like cocks her head and like her wings are flittering, but she actually stops moving for a second. You're heading there? Really? I've never met anyone who's heading there. I mean, I've heard all about them, of course, but I've never been there. But like, why would you want to go there? I mean, if you don't mind me asking. I mean, if it's a wonderful vacation spot, of course, I have to go check it out myself at some point.
Just business. We're freelancers.
Oh, of course. Freelancers. Oh, are you all like the rock people or something? What was it? Geographists, cartographists. The people who look at the rocks.
I'm gonna roll for deception and say yes because I don't understand the words.
Go for it. With disadvantage? No,
Don't worry, I'm already rolling with disadvantage. That's 13.
If you're just saying basically yes,
13.
I won't make you roll at disadvantage. 13, you know what? Ega is surprisingly convincing with his gruff yes. And she's sort of like, oh my gosh, oh look at me, Snowdrop being all nosy again, of course. Oh my goodness. Okay, well let's see. There's a couple of potions that of course be helpful. I mean, of course, if you happen to run into any trouble, obviously, I guess, potions to like heal your wounds would be really helpful. We definitely have a couple of those. Let's see. I don't know if you all like to camp normally or whatever, but like you might have trouble sleeping. We definitely have at least one sleeping potion. We have at least one potion of water breathing. Those could be really helpful in case you fall in the sea and drown or something. I mean, gosh, I don't want to hope. I wouldn't assume that you drown. I mean, I assume you all are really strong swimmers. Oh gosh, what else is there? I guess if you need to dig, I have one that could help you do that. Let's see. Potions for getting back magic. What did you say?
Do you have anything to do with gravity?
Anything to do with gravity? Roll me a luck check.
I have no idea if this is going to be of any use to us whatsoever, but I mean, why not try?
I'll try avoiding it this time.
He walked into my reverse gravity in a different campaign.
It wasn't shown on the map.
Actually, he ran into it.
It wasn't shown on the map.
10.
10. Let's see. We do have a couple of those. They've sat on the shelf for not too long. They tend to be popular among the partygoers in Ancaster. But yes, there is a potion where you can flip your own gravity. Lets people walk on ceilings and stuff. I mean, I guess I really shouldn't sell these things. Thieves could use that to sneak up on someone. Oh gosh, I really gotta question my own business. Anyway, yes, we do.
How much for one bottle? For one potion?
It would be 10 gold.
I'm thinking.
Nope, you're all good.
I'll step back and let others shop while I think about whether I want to spend that.
And you, Mr. Tiefling, sir. Yes, you asked about potions too. Was there anything else? I mean, did anything that I say spark your interest? Of course. I mean, of course, we have lots of all kinds of other things. So if you're looking for a potion that does anything specific, of course, I'd be willing to help you out with that. I mean, we could even custom brew something if you're really interested in that. But oh my gosh, so it takes so long. Yeah. Did you want to buy anything else?
How much for healing potions?
Oh, well, let's see. If you're just looking at your regular healing potion, we have a good number of those in stock. So I'd only charge you 5 gold for one of those.
Yes, I'll take 3.
You'll take 3, of course. she sort of like clasps her hands together, and then says, "Oh, and by the way, of course, they're a little heavy for me, so you can just set the coins on the counter right there." And she points at sort of like a little mossy bowl with a sign that basically says, "Place money here. Don't kill fairy. Thank you." And she actually calls to like essentially what seems like sort of like like a shopkeep assistant who will grab your 3 bottles off the shelf. They all have sort of a similar like mossy green wax design and a little winged fairy seal on top.
It's like all just potions and plants, right? Is there any other things that they seem to be selling right now?
You could find things you could find here include like spell components, or sort of just like some sort like raw materials that are generally used in potion making or spell casting. You know, you can ask about that. There are potions, there are plants. That's probably about it. Like I'm trying to think. Yeah, like potion or spell components, potions themselves.
Okay.
Enchanted
Cool.
items or anything like that?
No. There do not appear to really be any magic items here. The exception would be that you do see what seems to be sort of like a bucket of like trinkets of various kinds, with a sign on them that says 1 gold apiece. At a first glance, some of these things appear to kind of be like rubbish. You see some like coins, some sort of random coins in there. You see rocks. You see like some things that sort of appear to be like broken. Like you see like a pot that like, you know, is like cracked and like it sort of has like a chip in the side. A lot of it seems like unremarkable junk.
Could I like?
I will. Sorry. Go ahead.
Could I roll like an investigation check to kind of like, if anything in there's interesting?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Roll me an investigation check.
Well, I'm not finding shit. That's an 8.
Yeah, you don't find anything too crazy. There's at least 1 coin that seems to be from like, you know, another continent. You don't really recognize it, but it doesn't really seem that interesting. It just seems like a coin.
I will set the doll down on the counter and pull out my money and say, I think I will take that potion of gravity. Reversal.
Yes, the gravitation potion. Absolutely, coming right up. And she will gesture to the shopkeep assistant, and then similarly gesture at the bowl for you. The potions of healing, by the way, are pretty standard and red. They're a little fizzy. The gravitation potion, you'll notice, sort of like trickles like up and down through the air in its own bottle. Like it's almost like a lava lamp kind of effect. Yeah.
And I'm guessing this is something that I have to make custom because I can't find it in the D&D Beyond.
Yes, I will send you what it.
I mean, if it's reverse gravity, I can look that spell up.
There's pieces to it. Where did I find
I'll let you
this?
figure that out.
Bless you.
I have 30,000 tabs open. Once I find whichever fucking tab this is in, I will send it to you.
I'm just gonna take off the gold and let it go for now.
All right. Will anyone else be purchasing?
So, works very fast. And healing potions cost.
Actually, hang on a second. I have to make my first roll. I have to go get my dice to convene them, but I'll just roll online now. The fairy does not seem to have noticed at all that you're not catching on to what she's saying, and she leans down and goes, "Yeah, one of the potions of normal healing is going to be 5 gold for 1 potion. That's right, 5 gold for 1 potion."
I look over to the party, confused. Yeah, okay. I take 2.
Oh my gosh, okay, you want 2? Of course, that's going to be 10 gold for both of them. Just put them in the bowl right down there. And of course, my lovely assistant here will get you those potions right away. You're not sure what the flower said, but the pointing flower jabbed a hand towards the bowl on the counter. And
Yeah.
there is a
And
board
there-
next to it with squiggles.
And there's gold in it, so
There is gold. You
So
have
I'll
seen your other
assume-
party members drop the gold into that bowl. Yes, Ega could potentially infer that that's where to put your money, despite not being able to read the sign.
And I am, now that I've gotten my lava lamp bottle, I'm playing with it. I'm flipping it upside down, and this is so cool.
The fairy sort of like gives you a little grin at your excitement, but is otherwise sort of just flitting around doing like, you notice that like even between talking to you, like since the shopkeep is doing things, you see her just sort of flitting between like almost like little like workstations that she has set up. Like, you know, she'll be talking to you and like, you know, mashing some essentially like some tiny herbs in a bowl, or even you'll see sometimes she flicks her wand, and other like things are simply mashing or stirring themselves. All right. Ega and Evect and Deanna's character have bought potions. Do you all have any other business here?
I don't.
I think I'm good.
I mean, I could probably get distracted in this shop for the entire day, but if somebody wants to kind of guide me out, then I won't resist.
Yeah, I'm content.
All right. Well, one of you presumably wanders out of the shop, and one of you probably tugs Deanna's character along, who's probably a little bit still enmeshed in the wonders of the store.
When I get tugged out, I'll be like, "Oh, bye, pretty snowdrop. Thank you."
Hi, random lady. You were really nice. I hope you enjoy the potion. Use responsibly. Where would you all like to go next? If nothing else occurs, this would likely be the time where if everyone else is done shopping, y'all would head to the university. The only thing being whether anyone still needs to buy more substantial equipment of any kind, or if anyone still needs to buy rations from another place.
I think the wrap's good.
I mean,
All right.
I have so many chicken nuts.
You do. You have really an abundance of chicken testicles.
So food won't be an issue for me. But I also won't read, so...
Okay.
Why go
So-
to the university?
What'd you say?
I said, so why go to the university?
I mean, I'll probably follow James then, because James still has to buy his rations.
That's a good point.
Is James going to be buying rations in the city, Kara?
Do we have Akira still?
Yeah, you have a Kira still.
Oh, there we go.
Are you going to be buying rations in the city? Because otherwise the group is probably going to mostly head to the university.
I will be. I'll be off doing my own shopping. Yes.
Okay, so wait, so are you going to split off from the group?
I'm going to be splitting off from the group. Yes.
Sorry, I'm thinking. So there are technically a couple of options. Here's what I'll say. Would anyone's character want to go to the university with Rap?
Not really?
Yeah, I'm not really thinking there's anything my wonderful himbo would be that interested in.
I can't read.
All right.
Eka has no use for these universities.
The only book I care for is if I can use it to smack someone on the head with it.
Hey, kindling.
Book is
Valid.
brick.
Yes.
Book is good weapon.
Okay. So, here's what I'll say, which is, if you all, would be following Kira, one thing that you all would have noticed, is that, you all, would probably have to go the same way for at least a little while. So, what would, I'll ask, the rest of the group, unless you tried to deliberately ditch them, would probably be going, with Kira shopping, since none of the rest of them are super interested in going to the university. So I guess the first question is, would James, for whatever reason, try to, ditch them?
They probably find the time to split off, but not. They try to find a time to split off, but they wouldn't try, not really discreetly. Just something catches their attention, they're just gonna have a look at it. Have a like if the shop catches their eye, they're just gonna go off like no warning.
Okay. So, you all, I will say, you all would probably, walk around the northern side, and then essentially split off, likely once you sort of get to the, like, you know, like, towards the end of the merchant district. Rap would probably head south around Bright Castle. The central area is sort of gated, so, like, there is technically a middle of the city, but it's not really, like, that possible to walk directly through it. So, you all would be able to wander a little while, and you'd probably see a couple. Oh,
Hiccups.
what'd you say?
Hiccups.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh, is someone trying to talk? You all would probably see a couple relatively, you know, ordinary shops, sort of like a grocery store type thing that's like a little bit more like food aligned than a general store combined with a market. So you all would probably walk through that. And y'all would probably be, you know, starting to get into the equipment section. But I need everyone to roll me a perception check. Time.
14.
Okay. I'm gonna use this time while everyone must roll to actually grab my own dice. My own dice.
Much like these dice, but I cannot read them easily.
I hate dice when they're like that.
Oh, it's the return of magical number 4.
You said perception?
Yes, perception.
18.
Even with the 4, that's a 9.
That would be a 17 for myself.
All right, so I heard 19,
17 as well.
19 for 17, 17.
And a 14.
I think you heard 9, not 19.
Did I hear a 9?
Yeah, Kira rolled a 9.
Yeah.
So, those of you who rolled above a 10 would, which I think is everyone except Kira and whoever rolled the 9.
Was Kira.
Oh, okay. Okay, 4 bonuses. I think the rest of you all rolled above a 10. So everyone except James would notice that as you're sort of exiting this food stall area, there is a hooded figure following you. It is rather short, and it appears to be trying to follow you stealthily, unobtrusively. It is gradually, you know, you would sort of been able to notice, like, unless any of you reacted immediately upon seeing it, you all like would have watched it for a minute and then begin to notice that A, it's following you, and B, it's gradually getting like closer. Not necessarily in any specific sort of way. It's just like, it sort of is like weaving through the crowds and sort of like, will speed up here and there to keep pace with you all and sort of
Any-
gradually get closer to you.
Are there any
At the
weapons
moment,
on it?
not
Figure
that you
that we
can
can see?
see. At this point, it's probably about like 15 feet behind you.
Lore to keep an eye on it so that I don't lose track.
I'm putting a hand on my sword.
Okay. Do you all keep walking and pretend you have not noticed it?
Gonna keep going, I think.
Yeah.
So, as you walk, you're starting to walk through more of the equipment area. There's, you see, sort of more crudely painted signs for armor, for swords and such things. Out of the corner of your eye, the figure sort of skips closer. Importantly, how far is Glor behind you? Is Glor with you? If you issued any specific commands to Glor, aside from just to watch it?
Let me know if it becomes threatening or gets much closer.
All right.
Like if it pulls a weapon or anything like that.
I will say, would Evek do anything in particular? Because I believe Evek rolled above a 10 as well.
No, I just kind of keep an eye out and keep
Yeah.
moving. Make sure.
Yeah. So as you keep walking, you don't do anything. You don't let it know. And it sort of, sneaks around some people and gets a little closer to you again. At this point, it's probably about 10 feet away. Those of you who are watching it, roll me another perception check.
Let's go from a 17 to a 1.
Should I roll for Glor?
Yes, please, if you will.
16
Fine,
for me.
Glor's.
I dropped from a
Dirty
13, oh no, from a 14 to a 13.
I got a nat 20 for Glor,
All right.
which feels like a waste of a nat 20, but
Sorry, give me those rolls one more time. Just, sorry, real quick.
16 for evict.
13.
nat 20 for Glor.
With Lacey's help, that's a dirty 20.
Is James watching?
I thought you said I don't know that they're there.
If they would have already split off, that's fair.
No, more in the sense that James rolled a 9 previously, so they didn't notice him.
Yeah.
That's true. I guess none of the parties pointed out, so actually, never mind. You're correct. All right. So, Rap with Lacey's help and Evict and Glor would all be able to notice that it doesn't appear to be bearing any weapon. You also notice that it is definitely a small, slight figure. Glor in particular would be able to see that it actually appears to sort of have its hands out underneath the cloak, like both of them sort of like this. And that the hands are quite dark, even in like the shadow of the hood. Like
Oh, its hands are like what now?
its hands are sort of just like this, like underneath the cloak. Glor would notice this. You all would not notice this.
Gotcha.
Just that you can definitely tell that it's not holding any weapon, but you all aren't really able to notice more than that. Glor would notice with a nat 20 that yes, it's sort of holding its hands like this under the cloak. As it approaches, it's definitely stepping light, trying to be stealthy, and it does seem like a young humanoid with quite dark skin.
Like Drow Dark?
Yes, like Drowdark.
And I'm sorry, it's holding its hand like what? I didn't have the camera.
Imagine holding a
sort
ball
of like this.
with both hands.
Okay.
It sort of just has its hands like up, like it's not walking with its hands by its side. It has its hands up, but they're not holding any weapons. And as you keep walking, the figure is going to actually start running and rapidly make a dash towards your group. I'm presuming that Glora is going to let out a bark of some kind, and I'm going to need you all to roll initiative. I'm actually not going to pull up the roll 20 for this, at least yet. But my music stop, has it been stopped for some time and I have literally not noticed it? It has. It has been stopped. I have not noticed it.
Would I still be a part of this encounter?
I would say that is very much up to you. I, left alone, would assume that you were still traveling somewhat with the group as the group is sort of traveling with you, sort of meandering through shops as they as they're sort of heading off to, this way before Rap will eventually split off, presumably to go to the university. But if your character, what'd you say?
I'll stick around for whatever this is, and then.
Yeah, no worries, and then you can head out after.
Yeah, then if I'm still relatively close, then yeah, I would definitely help out.
Yeah.
Oh, now people are joining the roll 20. Just after Curious that Milo said that, nah, I'm not gonna do roll 20.
No, it's good to have it open. It shouldn't be necessary, and I know that seems crazy, but just roll with me for a second here.
I mean, it's just gonna be a dead child.
That is a sentence. That is a concept. That is a thought.
Officer, I executed that child in self-defense.
What I can do.
He was gonna tag me. It was me or him.
Actually, I can reveal this area because I got rid of the thing.
It tried to steal from me. I don't accept that. I drew my sword. It ran onto it. Not my fault.
Hey, ever played an artificer in D&D Beyond? Where do I find my infusion?
It should be under features and traits, I would assume. I've never played one with D&D Beyond, but
It says I can infuse an item, but I can't find which infusions I've chosen.
So click on class features.
A little sketch here. So, you all would likely have just been sort of chilling and traveling together. I think I'm on. Okay. So, y'all would have sort of just been chilling together. I think that's everyone.
Sorry.
Around, so y'all are in sort of a block. If y'all dislike that, feel free to arrange yourselves differently. So,
Trying to find where the roll 20 link is again.
I mean, you can just enter it now via your games in roll 20, so you just have to go to roll 20.
Better picture for mine.
Oh, here we go.
that is an ad. But honestly, it kind of works, except it's a little too intense. I don't really want to save time on proofreading Grammarly, thank you. All right. What are the initiatives? Did anyone roll a 20 or up?
I got a dirty 20.
Dirty 20? All right. Yolra. Yolra? I got it right that time, didn't I?
You
Perfect. All right.
21 for Evect.
Oh, 21. Okay.
Did? To be fair, I don't exactly want to be high. should've.
Okay. So, anyone else like 15 and up?
Yeah, 16.
16. Anyone higher than 16? Okay. So next up is Ega. All right. 12 and up. 11.
11.
10. 11. Rap and Lacey. And then I'm just still having it where y'all's things will just go on y'all's turns. Rap and Lacey, and then 10. That's where.
I got 11.
Oh, you got an 11. Okay.
Yeah, I thought you said 12 and up.
I
Or
did,
do you
and then
say
I said
11 and up?
11.
Oh, okay,
I switched to
then.
11 because this guy rolled a 10. Okay, so then we have Jams. You or Rap could go first. I'm gonna say it doesn't really matter. Just I'm not gonna drag this out too much. So, it has to just recap, the figure essentially after about being 10 feet back has darted towards your group. Evict, it is your turn. What are you going to do? You may be muted. I saw some lip movement, but have not heard
Yes.
anything yet.
I was muted. I'm going to go ahead and misty step behind the small figure.
Okay. You can do that.
And then because let me verify, yes. So, since that was a bonus action, as my action, I am going to cast Thaumaturgy to boom my voice and make my eyes glow a bright red. You might want to reconsider, friend. And just try spooking him into stopping.
Okay. Will you roll me an intimidation check?
You have been rolling too well tonight. I don't trust you for this roll. And I shouldn't have switched. That is a natural 1.
Oh.
Okay. I will say Evict would see the face of this person, who only Evict at this point would know, aside from an inkling maybe from Glor, would know that it is indeed a drow boy, who does look momentarily terrified, but sort of like doubles down, sort of seeming to possess some weird manly bravado that he would not normally otherwise possess, except in a very strange circumstance. And
I mean,
will
I'm
sort of
honestly
like
kind of picturing like I appear, do this cool pose, and just fall on my ass.
yeah, that's realistically that's probably what happens, is that like he just seems more confused but does still seem sort of like nervous. He regardless doesn't seem to be preparing for a fight. I will say everyone roll me a perception check real quick. Real quick. Roll me that quick to perception check to.
I should have switched my dice. Rolling real great, and
I'm
now
not
that's a 4.
using this D20 for the rest of today. I got a 1. Nat 1.
15.
Let's go back to the dice that I have been using.
Kira finally sees a magical item shop in the distance, and is totally interested in that. Forgets all about this. Other rolls.
7.
15.
If this is perception, I got a 19.
4.
Okay. Eora and Evict would be the only ones who notice that he seems to be getting ready to bolt. Like you two with your rolls could also guess that he's likely just a thief who is planning on probably trying to pickpocket one of you and running. He's definitely preparing to just take off when he's able. Like he doesn't seem interested in fighting. He seems like he's going to try and run when he gets the chance. Which does bring it to Eora's turn.
I'm only going to defend, so if he's not coming at me, then Glor and I are just gonna... Glor will probably growl or bark, to kind of just warn to, nope, you do not come closer. But otherwise, I'm just gonna stay where I am.
Okay. That brings it to Egga's turn. Egga! You haven't noticed really most of this, but, you know, Evict teleported behind, and now there's the hooded figure.
I mean, and the hooded figure is approaching, right?
It was. It's turned around and facing Evict now.
I mean, that's still hostile. So,
What would Egga do?
Oh, you know what Aga does. I'm gonna assume that a 10 doesn't hit.
It does not.
A 13?
A 13 will hit.
Cool. Oh, what I accidentally deleted my character.
The gang kills a child.
You shouldn't have started shit.
Is it a 5? No, that should be a 3. So 14 damage.
14 damage. What are you hitting him with, by the way?
The flat side of my sword against the side of his head.
Okay, so let me ask a question. Are you trying to, like, knock him out?
Yes. Unless you think I'm too stupid for that, then sure, I'll cut off his head with that motion.
Nope. That is probably for the best, because that, kid, there's a donk, and the kid crumples to the ground. So, which brings us to our next order of business. You're now, in the middle of a street, with a child that you just bonked on the head, who is now laying unconscious. I will note that this has not gone entirely unnoticed by everyone around you. In fact, this is a little bit of a commotion. The kid does seem pretty badly injured, by the way. Like, it's pretty obvious that, like, there was sort of a crunching noise as he went down. Like, he's probably not, like, dead, but he's probably not doing too good.
Not sure why I'm the one that'll do this, but I'll see if I can make sure he's not, like, bleeding out or anything.
Actually,
like,
cast.
stabilize him.
I think I'd like to actually cast Cure Wounds on him.
Okay. Yeah, roll me that Cure Wounds.
Cure Wounds touch, right?
I think it is touch, yeah.
Yeah, I'll have knelt down beside him and touched his shoulder.
Can we all see that it's like just a kid now?
Yeah, so likely the hood would have fallen at least partly off his face, and y'all can see, like, this is probably like an 8-year-old. Like, this is like a child. Like, you know, this is he seems pretty, like, skinny. All in all, this definitely seems like a kid who is trying to pickpocket you. You do notice, one thing that is very obvious, is that, he is drow. If other people want to sort of investigate more, they can roll investigation checks.
He got 6 points of healing.
6 points of healing?
Yeah.
Okay. His eyes will sort of like flutter awake. He seems like he probably got taken down real bad by that sword bonk, and those 6 points are pretty much just getting him back to consciousness. He's sort of like sort of weakly, like, his eyes flutter, and he looks up at you all and blinks.
That's a 21 to investigation.
Okay. I'm gonna stop and resolve this first, because this likely would have happened while he was still unconscious. So I will say, would you have, like, looked through his person, or just sort of, like, wanted to observe more about him?
I just wanted to observe more about him, like.
Yeah.
Try to
I will
get
say
a sense on his, like, I don't know, social standing, what he is,
Yeah,
like, where he's
absolutely.
from, if I would recognize. I'm more inclined because I am also a drow child, so.
Yeah, and actually, ooh, God, I might have to poke through your backstory. Do you have a backstory? Sorry, I feel like you gave me a backstory. I just
I
have to find it.
have not yet.
Okay.
I am working on it. Sorry.
Simple question: would your character have ever been to Ancaster before?
Oh goodness. Where did we say that I was from?
I want to
Yeah,
say you were from the Amante Islands, so pretty
That's
far
where it
away
is,
from
yeah.
here.
I don't think I would have been from Ancaster. I don't think so. If he had, he'd been in passing.
Yep. Okay. So I will say, I will still give you the information that you're like pretty sure this kid is like from is actually not from like the surface. Like he definitely seems pretty poor. His clothing is pretty patchwork. But you know, you as a drow child would sort of know, like, you know, there'd probably be sort of differences in fabrics, or you know, essentially like how do I explain this? If you ever can tell sort of all the subtle tells that tell where someone is from, this like screams Underdark kid to you. Like this does not scream like surface kid. Everything from like the hooded cloak, and underneath, like, you know, as like his eyes flutter awake, he definitely does not like, he like seems to be struggling particularly like with how bright it is. um you notice like a necklace with like something on it that you like don't really recognize. It's almost like maybe like a little mushroom or something. And aside from that, he seems kind of poor, but like you can sort of just peg him as like not being like from the surface of Ancaster.
I'm gonna kind of run up to him just that as he's like kind of fluttering his eyes open, he's at least seeing something that may be slightly familiar. As Rap is like immensely worried now.
I mean, otherwise what he would see would be a 6'6" orc standing over him with a drawn sword.
And,
How did I get home? How is it so bright?
I'm
is it
also
so bright?
kneeling right at his shoulder, so he's seeing me too.
I don't think you're home, buddy. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
He sort of like jumps and goes to like scrabble away from you. But sort of pauses as you say it's okay.
It's okay. Wait. We're a little bit jumpy, and you just startled us. What's your name, buddy?
My name is Rix. My name is Rix. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to hurt you, sir. He sort of like, by the way, stumbles a little bit on his words. You sort of also see him like bobbing his head a little bit. Like he has definitely suffered some sort of like concussion. Like this kid is like not doing very good, for the record. Like, you know, like if you've ever seen a kid run face first into anything really hard and try and get up after, like, yeah, it's
okay.
They're surprisingly
Rap.
resilient.
You're Rap. Nice to thanks for not killing me. People up, I mean, around here kind of.
I'm Roshin. Hold on. I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds again.
Okay.
Because who needs spell slots?
Need spell slots.
That is not the right die. There we go.
He sort of like, you know, like nods to Roshin, but definitely seems to trust Rap the most.
Another 7 points. That should help a little. Sorry, I can't do more.
He sort of like reaches up and touches his head, and he does seem to be doing better. You will note that the cure wounds seem to got, like, you know, as you sort of suffuse this magical energy to him, he seems to be a lot better. But unfortunately, cure wounds will not fix semi-permanent brain damage.
Well, yeah.
And he does still seem pretty like out of it mentally. Like he definitely seems physically better. Like he doesn't seem like, you know, sort of reaches up and touches his head and he's like, oh, it doesn't hurt so much. But that you still see him sort of like bobbing his head a little bit. Like he's still pretty woozy.
Where are you from?
It's a restoration.
I'm
wrong character.
I'm from Undercaster. Oh, God, where's the... Oh, my mom's gonna kill me. At least dead.
How'd you get up here?
Up here to find things, you know, help out my mom. You know, fish and stuff like that. It's not convincing. Like, you know, you know what's up. He knows what's up. But he does seem like a nice kid.
Alright, tell you what. And I'm gonna kind of fish out of my backpack a couple of like the rations that some like older rations that I had. It's a lot of like seed and nuts and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But like gonna kind of hand him like 2 days rations and say, you and I both know that's, look, these might be for your mom and you, and they might not be. Trust me, I get it. But can't be sneaking up around people like that, alright?
I'm watching him and seeing that he's not. We need to get him to a healer. I did my best. But
If you all really want to, and he sort of takes the seed nuts, and you all are really kind. If you want to help me get home, I promise it's actually really nice down there. And then they're good folk. We seems to be sort of struggling for words. Someone who knows my mom can pay you all back for anything.
We don't need money, but you need healing. More than I can give you.
She'll take care. She'll take care of me. I don't want no surface healer. I don't want no surface healer.
I'm gonna turn to Eolra.
She has introduced herself as
get it.
Roshneen.
Oh, she has? My bad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Sorry, that's right. You are correct.
She, just to the kid just now, she introduced herself.
Oh, gotcha. I get it. Like, I think we gotta take him back to his mom. I think that's better.
Okay.
I mean, he could be alright, but obviously it's not gonna hurt, but it's just...
I mean, we can't force him to see a healer if he doesn't want to.
Most of them don't have that kind of money, and I don't think we have that kind of money either. I certainly don't. This is the most money I've ever had.
How much money would a healer be? I kind of imagine there's like maybe some temples or something around that might be something.
So here's what I would say is there would likely be some temples around. In order to find a temple that specifically would specialize in sort of like this sort of healing or restoration, not every like temple that you walk into would just be able to be like, Badoop, you know, the kid's better. It would likely be a little ways distance from here. Most temples would be closer to the university. You would also have to probably get the kid there, and the kid does not seem like he wants to go there, so you would likely have to kind of manhandle the child to get to that point.
Whether I can afford it doesn't matter.
What I would tell you is that I would not recommend that course of action as a DM. You will probably be more likely to deal further injury to the child, or he's just going to run away, and like if he gets away, he's just going to be weaving through the streets. You could probably afford it, but the logistics of it are a little questionable.
Yeah, I don't think we can get him to anywhere, but yeah, I'd feel a lot more comfortable if we saw him safely home.
I can show you all the way. His speech is slurring a little bit at this point. He like, again, he's fine physically, but this is like probably like a pretty severe concussion.
Uh,
Lore big enough that I can offer the child a ride?
it's a
I
medium.
know
Does
I'm
Lore
not
have
big.
a specified size? Like, is there like a mechanical specified size?
Lore's.
I think steel defenders I think are medium creatures.
Are they?
They're medium
thought they were
constructs,
big.
I believe.
I thought they were big.
Did I just give the kid a concussion?
Yes.
Yes. The child has brain damage, Asa. That's what's up.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a medium construct.
Okay.
I would say definitely yes. I will say if anyone has like a cloak or a blanket, you may want to try and sort of figure out something to make it a little bit more comfortable, so that it's not just badunk 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 steel. Like, but yeah, he could definitely carry the kid.
Yeah, I was gonna put I was gonna put a cloak under it, but just offer him a ride.
I'm gonna kind of get up. Alright, you'll be safe with them. Look, I don't. Oh God, how do I get this? I don't think that I can go back underneath the surface right now. Long story. Get him home safe, please.
Okay.
It's okay, mister. I understand. Sometimes people have to leave and they don't come back.
I'm gonna
make sure
go
that you get
check
back.
out the school,
Okay, sounds good.
and he's gonna head on out.
All right. Rap sort of like, probably feels a little bad like leaving you all to do this, but is sort of like, nope, I can't, I'm out, and we'll head to the university.
And I'll give you my backstory by next session.
No, you're all
But,
good. See,
like,
now you have
I
a
have
starting
it
point to
all-
go off of, which is why
Oh.
can't you go with them? There you go.
It's
First thing,
already,
there you go.
No, it's all already
Okay.
in my head. I just have it written
Sick.
out. All right.
Sick. No problem. No problem
I'll
at all.
see
I
y'all
just don't want
later.
to forget things. All right. See you
Yeah,
later, man.
Later.
Yep.
Thank you.
Good one.
All right. Rap, after that sort of uncomfortable and hasty interaction, takes off. So you have a steel defender. You need to get a child onto it, and then figure out how to get the child home.
First, I'm gonna introduce big hulking monster as this is Glor. Don't worry, he's friendly, and he can give you a ride back, so that you don't have to walk all that way. I imagine you're probably a little dizzy still.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I can't normally see that well in the sunlight, but I don't think there's supposed to be 4 of them. I guess he seems like a nice doggy. Sort of like reaches out and uncertainly like gives Glor like the tiniest little pet.
Glor will hold still.
We have
understanding
pets
that he
back
can
home
be
too.
threatening.
You might like them. They glow. He's sort of rambling a little bit at this point. I will say, are you going to try and sort of rig some sort of saddle or like sort of situation basically to get him on top of Glor? Because Glor can carry him, but like if you put him directly on top of Glor, it might not necessarily be the most stable and comfortable arrangement.
I have remember we talked about how Glor has like kind of a flat spot on his back. So
Oh, does
it
he?
actually-
Okay.
Yeah. So it actually does work pretty well as
Oh, okay. Sorry, I did forget that he had the flat on his back. Nope, that actually will work quite well. And he is like conscious enough to sort of hold on to the sides a little bit. He'll probably like actually even take off his own cloak and wad it up under his head just so that like, as he's riding, like his head isn't gonna bonk against Glor. And he will sort of crawl up onto Glor's back and sort of just like cover his eyes and lay there.
And do I have a hat? I don't feel like I have a hat. No, I don't have a hat. Darn it. Okay, so we do need a little bit of direction as to where to take you though.
There's the nearest go go down the alley with the melons, and there's the brick wall, and and the use the sigil, and it's the bricks will let you in. Okay. His head sort of like lolls to the side, and like he has passed back out.
Very desperately want to get him a healer.
Here's the thing. He's like physically stable, and he's not like, I mean, but if you've ever like, seen someone with a really bad concussion, like right after they get concussed, they're pretty loopy.
Yeah. Okay, so I think the first thing we need to look for is probably like a fruit stand with melons, I think is what he said.
Yeah. And
He
actually,
said something about an alley with melons.
Well, the alley is next to melons.
So, roll me, actually everyone roll me a history check, if you would like to try and look for this alley with the melons, or where the melons are.
Oh, we passed it and we're remembering it. Okay. History.
11.
That's a 1. Unnatural 1.
16.
Unnatural 20.
Nice.
Okay.
This dice likes me tonight.
Yeah, this one is...
Assuming that James would go with the group, James is probably initially still quite distracted by this magic store, but would
Yes.
likely receive some sort of tugging from Evect, like, buddy, like, like, we're taking the child home that we, beat up.
We.
We didn't do
Oh, wait,
shit.
hold
It was all
on,
Ega.
we.
Yes, it was we.
We.
Okay, fine. Whatever
cannot
Evect
touch
would say. That one over there. Anyway, and you all would actually be able to recall that it was near the beginning of the fruit stand. And as you walk back there, you do in fact see that one alley sort of continues on. You see sort of essentially some garbage bins, some other just, shit that you would see in a city. But the other one does indeed, it's a dead end. There's, 2 brick walls on the sides, and then there is 1 brick wall at the end. This alley also seems relatively empty. In the other alley, you sort of see, just things like excrement that people have not cared to dispose of properly, and, little bits of trash or food or rats. There might be a rat or 2 in this alley, but it's pretty barren, pretty empty.
Less unpleasant one first?
Child is passed out, and currently cannot say anything else. So, I assume that Rasheen would be heading towards the alley with the dead end?
Yeah. On the
So-
walls for the sigil that he was talking about.
I'm gonna roll a medicine check to see if shaking someone awake is a good idea.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that. All right. I'm gonna have Rasheen roll me an investigation check.
So that's a 16.
Nice. 18.
16 and an 18. Ega knows boy head bad. Real scrambled. Like egg. Like Ega. No shaky. That make thought even worse. Maybe kill boy. People will not like you if you kill child. Killing child mean. No shaky.
No shake.
No shake.
No shaky.
To
So,
just to be clear, if Ega reaches towards this kid, Rasheen's gonna like smack his hand like mother keeping child from dipping hand into cookie dough.
So,
That'll actually be any person, but especially Ega.
I can be gentle, maybe.
Rasheen would notice, sort of investigating, the walls, that there is no necessarily like, evident like, sigil on the wall. But as she's investigating the bricks, she sort of sees like, sort of like almost like scuffing marks around some of the bricks. Like as a whole, the wall seems pretty like seemingly in new shape. Like, you know, it's not like out of place. But essentially, like as she sort of like is trying to like examine these walls, the last wall just seems to have like certain bricks that have like way more like wear and tear. Like she notices maybe like one or two of these.
Which one?
What'd you say?
Can I touch one of the bricks that seems to be more worn?
You can. And as Rasheen touches it, the brick actually sinks back into the wall slightly. Yeah, then it stops. Nothing else happens.
I'll do that to the other bricks that I see that have been worn.
Yeah, roll me another investigation check.
To find all the bricks.
I will note
at this point.
that if she looks further, she does also see little white like dots on some of the bricks, but they don't really seem to like, how do I explain this? They almost just seem like little like chalk marks.
Is there,
If she
like,
notices
a
one or two
numeric
of them.
order of them or anything?
No, there aren't any numbers. Would she be looking around for all of these chalk marks?
No, I don't mean numbers. I mean, like, is there one chalk mark on this brick and two on this brick or anything like that? A pattern
No.
of any sort?
No.
Okay.
If she notices one or two chalk marks, it's a singular chalk mark.
Okay. My investigation was a 16.
All right. With a 16, she is able to feel for a couple more bricks, and I'm realizing. Hold on, let me actually pull up. Let me give you guys a visual for this. That would be helpful. Not that I prepared it before specifically. That would be more helpful. Yeah, that'll do. Sorry. Hold for it. Sorry, fam. Yes, upload. What's that gonna be? Why is it not an image? Alright, whatever. I'm just gonna draw this out. Sort of briefly.
Mama just killed a child.
Sorry. Alright, well, I'm just gonna do it like this. So...
Ooh.
The first brick that Rasheen poked would have been this one. And after poking around, she's able to sort of follow a little bit of a line and poke out those and that brick that's over there. But these two bricks that she pokes don't seem to go in. And she's not sure where to go next exactly. The chalk marks essentially appear to be here, here, like here, here. There would be another row above this. So, that is green. That is not what I wanted. Okay, whatever. So, that is what you see.
Okay, so the X's are the ones that went in?
Yes. The lines are two that she pushed with a 16 but did not go.
Okay. And the chalk marks are the green.
Yes. I will give you where those. That was. I will say with the 16, that would be the other thing that I would have given you is where the chalk marks are. Except, this green up here is not a green. Ignore this green. This green does not exist. This is I started drawing with the wrong color green.
Can I? And the chalk marks are just like a little tick?
Basically, yeah. They seem sort of just like this. They're pretty subtle too.
Okay. Can I push on the bricks that have the chalk marks?
Yes. So which bricks would you like to push on?
That one?
This one, this one
Up
right
at the
here?
top? Yeah.
Yep. It's also important to note the chalk marks are sort of like at like on the lines between bricks, so they're sort of like at the corners and nexuses of bricks. They're not actually exactly on any specific brick.
Yeah.
But this one does indeed go in.
Okay.
And you do also, as the one closest wall, start hearing like a faint sort of clicking sound. It doesn't seem ominous. Just as you push this one in, there starts to be a faint clicking sound, but nothing is really happening.
Okay, let's do this one.
This brick does not push in, and as you go to push it in, you encounter like it doesn't like just not move, but there's resistance, and all of the bricks spring back out.
I found the reset. Okay.
But she would be able to push the same bricks in again, so
Okay.
it would just take you.
I found the reset. Okay. How about this one? And if anybody else wants to chime in here,
I mean, I would just fuck up the
No,
puzzle
not
every
you,
single.
not
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
We mean one of the characters out of the 6 of us that are present with a real brain, Ega. I'm kidding. So, as you get back around and I've pushed in the rest of these, you hear the clicking start once again. And as you push in this brick, the clicking sort of heightens for a moment, and you hear a brief grinding noise before it stops. And the wall begins to rotate. So, are all of you stepping in? Because you have about 10 seconds to decide.
Yep, jumping straight in there.
I guess.
Go for it.
So you all are able to sort of jump and usher Glor on the other side of the wall. At which point, you see essentially a slope heading downwards. This is almost its own little brick room, but the floor has a pretty decent slope, and you see it head down into apparently darkness.
This is when we all check to see if we have dark vision on our characters.
Yes,
I
and
have
that's
it.
what I was about to ask. Which of you got screwed by every race in 5e has dark vision except for yours?
Well, luckily, I have an Everbright lantern on me.
Will you be lighting and bringing the Everbright
I do
lantern?
dark vision. Never mind.
Yes.
I would actually. Rasheen do this? Nope. Never mind.
Okay,
I have dark vision.
you have dark vision.
As do I.
Elf has dark vision. Go figure.
Orc has
So-
dark vision.
All right.
Yeah.
So, as you begin heading down, you find that essentially all of you are on I shouldn't have opened that in the tab. Boop. Are on well, of course, State Farm. Are on a large slope downwards. And so essentially, as you all descend into the earth, there is a period that's essentially just walking through this dirt tunnel. But before long, you all are on a ramp with no walls or anything like that. But as it sort of gradually takes a curve, you see a huge sprawl beneath you. It's not as big as Ancaster, but you see presumably Undercaster beneath you in all its glory. There's a cave sort of glowing with all sorts of various colored lights, including many bioluminescent, I think that's the right word. Oh, if it's fluorescent, kill me. Mushrooms. And oh gosh, so many tabs. And wouldn't you know it, I have a picture. So essentially, as you go on a ramp, this is what you would see beneath you. There's several large, like, essentially lights that hang from the ceiling of what is basically an enormous cavern beneath Ancaster. Aside from these lights, truthfully, there would be many more light sources coming from mushrooms. There's a ton of mushrooms around, and in fact, an astute observer can even spot mushrooms walking through the streets. You would also see some other different races down here, Drow and Dwergar most notably. Anyone who wants to look for anything specific or, whatever can roll me an additional perception check. Wow, that is a horrible noise. I don't like this ambiance for this place anymore. I didn't expect to hear someone gag and die in the background.
I haven't started the stream, and I might be okay with that at this moment.
Probably a good thing. We're gonna try this. Wait, I don't love that. God, this is so hard. Of course, it was fine until that point, and then there's the sound of someone dying in the background. This is much
Sorry,
better.
the kid called himself Rix.
Rix. I should find art of Rix. And then I will post Rix and his name. But yeah, you all are able to begin descending. I will say, as you all head down the ramp, it's probably maybe like, you know, a 20-minute walk down there. It's sort of gradually curving, and especially with keeping someone relatively stable on Glor's back. It's not exactly a mad dash. That is perfect. So I will say, first of all, do any of you want to do anything or talk to anyone while you walk? Rix will probably stir as you all start getting down there, probably about 10 minutes into your walk. So if you would like to say anything privately, there is a period of your walk where he is still knocked out.
I'm
I'm
probably
gonna be
pretty
very
enchanted.
I'm gonna be very observant. I'm more curious than anything, but I'm probably gonna be wary of all the strangers around me.
Okay, absolutely. After about 10 minutes or so of walking, Rix will sort of briefly stir. Oh, this is so bright. Sort of like will almost go to sit up and then realize that's a bad idea. And sort of lay back down, but prop his head up a little bit against Glor, and look around at you all. Before it was sort of a squint, but he seems to be actually taking in all of your faces now. I want to say, by the way, thank you all a lot for saving me. It really means a lot, especially because I wasn't necessarily going to be kind to you. Not to put too fine a point on it.
Little one, don't worry. I wasn't kind. I mean, I'm the one that gave him a concussion, aren't I?
No, but my heart! I'm sorry, I can't roleplay when I'm Let me just cough out my feelings. Rick sort of like looks up at you, and sort of like for once puts his hand down and gives you a nod. It's okay. I've been hit in the head before. I have 3 brothers, so it's nothing new, and like a nice guy, kind of scary looking, but you seem nice. What's your name?
I'm Aga.
Ega. All right, that's a pretty nice name. And you were Rakanashu. Rasheen. Okay. What are the rest of your names?
They call me Evict. Nice to meet you.
Vict. What about you over there? He's sort of like, I imagine that James is sort of walking maybe towards the back of the group, so he sort of like maybe leans around
Yeah.
someone to look at James.
You're looking behind us every now and then to make sure, like, we don't have anyone tailing us again.
He asked you your name.
He did ask your name.
My name?
Yeah, what's your name?
James will do.
James. I will say, you might want to turn off that lantern as we go into the city. The above lights down here, but I promise you'll still be able to see okay, or worst comes to worst, I can probably walk, or the nice, that's nice guy. Ega, maybe he could carry you or something, I don't know.
Pretty here, this is your home?
Yeah, I live down here. Welcome to my home, I guess. He does seem to be doing a little bit better, this time after waking up again. He still slurs his speech a little bit, but he is capable of putting together more coherent thought. I mean, yeah, I live down here, with my 3 brothers and my mom, and, it's pretty nice overall. I don't think all of us are as rich as the above people, but that's okay. We have a nice life down here, and truthfully, everyone here is actually really nice. The myconids are a little bit scary at first if you've never seen one, but I promise they're really squishy and fun to hug. Don't stand too close to one though. Sometimes when they well, you know, we sometimes release gas. They release spores when they do that. Trick's got a face full of spores once, and he never stood behind the mic in it ever again.
What are the Myconids?
I'll keep the lantern on until we start reaching like towards the edge of the city. Then
Okay.
I'll put it away. I'm still gonna be very cautious of these new surroundings.
Yeah, totally. And I will say, as you walk, you do see some guards by the city. They don't seem super standoffish, but you do, as you see them, sort of, I assume, unless you turn off your lantern before then, they do sort of start to give you a like, sort of a look of like, boy, put that lantern away, till, you know, you put the lantern away. But I will say, was Rasheen gonna say something back? I'm trying to remember.
I just asked what Myconids were.
Oh, they're like the mushroom people. They're sort of like the mushrooms that grow on the walls, except they can kind of talk and walk around, and they own businesses and everything.
Do they glow like the ones on the walls?
Some of them only when they get really angry or, well, you know, have strong feelings of some kind. Sort of like the flumps. Those things glow too. I have some friends. I can introduce you, I promise. They're super cool. We play kickball with some of the spider skulls. It's pretty cool. Spiders don't have skulls. That's not... You know what? Spiders have skull now. That's canon. Spider head carapaces. How about that? Spider heads.
I mean,
you know what? We'll just go. We'll go
whole
full
spider
send.
is the skull.
Rotting, disgusting spider heads. Full send. Full send.
I have to show you mini Robo Muppets. So, I mean, I'm all for exploring this place, but, the idea was to get you home. Which way's home?
Oh, well, truthfully, can we go to Mizana's first? She's, in close to the main square. She'll be on our way in. She's sort of our version of a healer. She does a lot of things, though. She'll get me patched up right, and then my mom won't give me too much of a hard time. But you're welcome to come back home with me after too, and you can meet my brothers and meet my mom if she's there.
Which way to Mizana? Is that her name?
Mizana.
Mizana.
He said basically, pretty much head forward, and she's going to be before you reach the main square. Yeah, if he, I mean, I will say, would Rasheen look sort of like confused by that, or like be trying like a little bit like,
By the directions?
Yeah.
No, I think she would probably understand go forward until right before the square.
Yeah, okay.
In which case, she would probably be quite willing to ask for directions from a passerby if, Rix is passed out again.
Awesome. Yeah, and at this point, you all are able to enter the city. The drow guards sort of look at you all a little bit suspiciously until Rix turned around and pops his head up from Glor and says, "Hey guys, it's me, I'm back again." And you see them sort of relax and shake their heads. "At least you came back with all your teeth this time." To which he does decidedly a mature gesture in jest to one of the guards, involving a particular finger, but they laugh and let you pass without any difficulty. Talky ambience now, but I'll do that in the background. As you all come on. As you all enter, you all would notice that it's definitely alive. It's a city built on a couple of stories, and so you all are sort of actually on the lowermost story that the ramp is taking you to, but you sort of see like other walkways leading between the different levels of the city. Overall, despite Rix and his family, as you can sort of see from the picture, it definitely doesn't seem to be like poor necessarily. You can, as you like walk around a little bit, and if anyone wants to know anything specific, just let me know. You can see it's just a bit of a different way of life. You pass a couple of myconids who sort of trundle along. Some of them have sort of fully formed legs, whereas others of them are much squatter and almost sort of like shuffle around on like little mushroom feet. I will say, you all would pass other shops, of course, although some of them are marked perhaps a little differently than you expect. You all would also notice that, and I will say for James, the city is highly traversable and like it doesn't cause any issues to like go through the city. It's essentially like an area of dim light. It is reasonably crowded, so people do tend to, left alone, walk pretty close to you. Not in a malicious sense, just in a sense of there are people sort of bustling to and fro. Mostly within the city, though, you didn't really pass too many people. Like, you didn't really pass anyone, at least when you came down, coming down the ramp. So, would anyone be doing anything in particular, whether that is paranoia behavior or
Definitely.
chatting with anyone?
Probably chatting with Rix. We don't have to actually play it out, but I'm just chatting about just everything, especially the mushrooms, and then he was talking about playing games, and so I'm asking about that. And
yeah.
I'm making a friend.
Absolutely. Rick seems quite happy to talk to you, and will indeed regale you with all sorts of tales. I will say, one particular tale that Rix talks about is Rix mentions that his mom has been obsessed with finding the fountain, and he basically says something along the lines of, "It's one of the reasons that I told you to take me to Mizana's, because truthfully, she might not be home when we get home. She's been out looking for it for like the past week or something like that." I think you said something, but I didn't hear anything except the end of it.
I said, what fountain? You said fountain.
Yeah, fountain. Well, there's this like myth that's going around. There was this one drow that came back to the city, and he said that like there was this fountain that had like magical like waters or something like that. He called it like the crystal fountain, and I'm not sure. Truthfully, to me, he seemed to be spouting some nonsense, but he was going on and on about how its waters could cure any ailment, regrow any limb, restore any problem someone might have. So, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm imagining that she wants to go get the water for Kix, my younger brother. He has a lame leg, so he mostly stays at home. She fusses over him so much, so truthfully, I think she's gotten kind of obsessed with it. She's come back empty-handed the past several days. It's part of the reason why I'm going to the surface to try and help us out a little bit, because normally she'll go peddle stuff, but nope, she's just been vanishing for the past week or so. But who am I to say? Maybe she'll find it, and maybe she won't. My book doesn't exist. But I mean, hey, what can I say? Myths are kind of weird things, huh?
Yeah, and so are moms.
There's my ambiance. Oh, trust me, I understand. Despite the fact that she understands that we need more money, she fusses about me so much every time we go up there. She's like, "Rix, don't you try to mess with the adventures." And I'm like, "Ma, but the adventures have all the good stuff." I mean, can gain a lot by talking to adventurers. They're cool people. Yeah.
Yeah, just watch for the ones with the giant swords a little closer. I'll kind of
Yeah.
glare at
Not that. Only long.
I mean, I kind of figured that out the hard way, I guess. Geez, thanks for fixing up my head, though. Oh, we're almost here. And actually, as he says that, he reaches over, and points to, basically, if you translated a 70s hippie van into a building and made it fantasy, like, that is what you see on your left. There is no door. There's sort of like a bead hanging with all sorts of elaborate beads, some of which appear to be glowing in the dim light. You see all sorts of you usually don't see what look like TV advertisements in D&D, but if you could again translate a made on TV advertisement into D&D, you see sort of various parchments plastered in the window, advertising sort of various Kirol, speak to ghosts, tarot reading, all sorts of things. Inside you see some sort of hanging lamps, lots of rugs. Rix will originally sort of see this, thinking about the fact that he's on Glor, will try to get down off of Glor.
We'll lay down to make it a little easier.
Would you say you're helping him?
Yes.
Yes, that's probably good. Fittingly, our boy rolled a nat 1 for that. Oh shit. Dice. Our boy rolled a nat 1 for that acrobatics check, so not looking too hot. That's much better. Thankfully, as Rix almost face plants trying to get off of Glor, with the help of Rasheen, he sort of is able to get off safely, and will stagger a little bit into the shop. Do you all follow?
Yeah.
I'll tell Glor to stay outside, and then I'll go in.
I'll follow.
Awesome. The inside is really exactly what you could expect from the outside. I mean, just similarly, if you've ever been to sort of a psychic shop, all of the vibes. There's crystals everywhere. There's sort of strange things that you're not even sure what it would do. Pickled things in jars, glowing things. It is sort of an eccentric menagerie. You're not sure if these things are for sale or if they're just there. They're not really arranged in any particular order. There's no price tags. Yes, thank you. Reproductive health is important, but not my music. Rick sort of calls out, Mizana! From the back of the shop, you see a woman carefully make her way out. And the first thing that is quite obvious about her is that she is I'm gonna turn that down just a bit. She is I don't know. This is more not. So again, if people can hear it, let me know. But I did switch it. I turned it down a little bit on my end. So if someone cannot hear it, let me know. Yeah, she is blind. She has some sort of scars on her face, and one eye is sort of obscured underneath the bandana, but the remaining eye is sort of even different from a normal drow eye and seems somewhat milky and sightless. She doesn't seem to use a cane, however. She seems to walk carefully, but doesn't really require any aid. And she leans down and gives Rix a warm embrace before standing up and sort of eerily, almost looking towards the direction of you all. Are you all the ones who brought Rix home safe?
Yes.
I can hear you over there, by the way. 4, 4. 4 now. And the 5th. Further. Not human. Or alive, rather. Anyway, that's besides the point. Come in, come in.
He's outside.
What'd you say?
I said, that's Glor. He's gonna stay outside.
Ah, I see. He sounds like lots of ticking. Like a mechanical creature.
He's my friend.
I've never heard one
made him.
before. Interesting. You made him. Come with me. She sort of lays her hands on, like, the little kid's head, and then just shakes her head wearily. All right, come, and I will, please, sit, and I will get him, fixed up. And if you all would like any tea, also, I have tea. She sort of beckons you all, to a back room of the shop, where she, lays Rix down on the table, and sort of lays her hands, on his head, and you see, his head sort of, briefly, like, almost illuminate from within, sort of creepily, like, a little bit, like, with sort of a golden, glow, similar to her hands. And she sort of sits beside him with, her hands on his head. And once again, it's sort of eerie because she turns to look at you, even though it's clear, like, it's like she turns her head in your direction, like, as if she's looking at you, but it's clear that, like, she can't see you. Like, you don't see her eye moving around or anything either. Oh, do tell me, how did this happen? Must I scold his mother to keep him inside more once again?
Well, he kind of snuck up behind us and spooked us.
Ah, I see. You were just destined to get into trouble, aren't you? Like mother, like son. What can I say? I will say, I owe you all a debt for bringing him home safe. He's a bit of a local favorite, if you will. We care about him. Him and his brothers. Their mother means well, but is... how do you say? Harebrained? Nonetheless. I owe you all a debt, and if there's any particular thing you desire that I can help you with, simply let me know. But if nothing else, I will insist upon a fortune reading before you all leave. Everyone could use such guidance, I'm sure.
I'm sitting and like wiggling because I'm so excited and hugging my doll and like, you're gonna read our fortune?
Yes. Truthfully, that is how I tend to pay people down here. Truthfully, down here sometimes we use things other than coin. People pay me in secret sometimes, but usually in exchange for some things, I tell people their fortunes. I don't think I've been at least completely wrong yet, so I'd like to think that I know some things. But yes, have you ever had your fortune read? By the way, interestingly, as she's talking to Eolra, she looks like kind of down, like not in like a pervy way, like at Eolra's like chest, like or something like that. But sort of just like is like talking, like seemingly talking like through a point like that seems to be like maybe like a foot shorter than Eolra.
Like if Eoro was shorter.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't always remember what happened. But I don't think so.
Well, either way, a fortune of the past is the past and the present is the present. And sometimes many things must remain hidden. They will be revealed in time. She will, at this point, sort of feel almost around Rix's head with her fingers, and then lift her hands away. And Rix basically opens his eyes and practically like jumps out of the chair. And he's like, thank you, Amizana, thank you, I really appreciate it. He's much more energetic, by the way, it turns out, when he's not, dealing with brain injury. And he sort of like, beams up at you all. And thank you all so much, new friends. I mean, I think friends, I'm not sure. But I really want you to meet my family too. Mizana, will you read their fortune, and then I can take them home, and they can meet my brothers and my mom if she's home. I hope she's home. And Mizana sort of like laughs and like is like, all right, all in due time. Well, is a fortune sufficient payment? I suppose it is for at least one of you. Come.
How extensive
don't
are
need
these
payment.
fortunes?
Sorry.
Taking care of one of our own is a service, and we pay our debts here. Trust me. Whether it not be in coin, we pay our debts. I traditionally will do tidings of the past and the present and the future. The future is much more uncertain, so sometimes it's a couple of cards, but it's not too long.
I mean,
Just hopefully enough to give you an idea of what has, what is, and how you must move into what will be.
underground witch doctor telling me fortune through cards? That sounds sketchy. I'm in!
It's really cool. Are you kidding? Me first.
All right.
I think Milo was laughing because she remembered something in my backstory about sketchy things.
Oh.
So she actually beckons to all of you. Gather around, and I like to read the energy of a room, so I'll tell it to you all as a group, but if you wish, you can come back sometime later. Want to know more about your own journey. And she will like essentially reach out her hands over a deck of cards, which, Mike, behave. Which, god damn it.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me.
Not you, Mike. Headset, Mike.
I thought you
The mic
noticed that I got a
attached-
massive keychain.
Oh my god, that's great. I love that. But she holds her hands over a deck of cards, which essentially like expands into a sphere, of floating and rotating cards, over a table. And she actually lifts up her bandana to show her other eye, which is also blind, but has a blue glow, almost seemingly coming from behind it. I know, all of this roleplay is killing you. You just want combat, but I don't care. I'm kidding.
I was checking the DMing channel.
I know. And she sort of like holds out her hands, and moves a hand past, present, future. And as she utters each of these words, one card falls, and then another card, and then at the end, as she says future, several cards fall in 2 stacks. At which point she reaches out and takes the past card and sets it down. Let us see. 9 of Wands reversed. Isolation, defensiveness, paranoia, shadows behind you and voices, unable to trust others you believed you could, uncertainty, and overwhelmingness. A world that is too big and too scary and too loud. And as a result, and she sort of like almost like ushers over another card that had fallen sort of right next to it, as she put the sphere down. And she sets the Hermit next to it. Each of you have walked many roads alone. That is the past. The present. She reaches and sets forward another card. 7 of Cups, upright. You have many choices. All seem gifts, but there are gifts and curses ahead of you. Not all are each, and many of you have wishful thinking. Dream for dreams that may not necessarily be true. The question is whether on the way you will find truth or trap. There is both, and it is difficult to tell. But for the future, and she pushes both of these cards aside. There are two outcomes that I see. First, she flips two cards that fell on top of each other. Two more cups cards, 3 and 10. Your connections will be important. You cannot do this journey as you have before, wandering alone, uncertain, untrusting. You must rely on your creativity, and at the end, I do see celebration. Although, and she sort of like waves her hand over the ten of cups, there will be challenges upon the way. It will not be an easy celebration, but whatever you seek, I do see victory on a certain path. I think you all must learn to find your own place in the world and learn to live by your values. This is what the 10 of Cups means. To ask yourself, what is it that you truly want? What are your values? That will tell you your correct path. And on the other side, and she flips two cards over. So she flips one card over and stares at it. Ah, this is commonly a card for a bad outcome. The devil. Entrapment. Sin of all kinds. Being lost and misled, manipulated, confused. There is the presence of evil in your future. Whether or not you find it, I am uncertain. She flips another card, and then sort of stops and regards it for a moment, and you see a somber expression come over her face. The Tower. Chaos. Upheaval. Sort of sits for a moment, and then reaches for the last card and turns it over. And as she does, the death card appears. And for a moment, the lights in the room flicker as you see almost like shadows spread out from it, although you're not sure if it's your imagination. She sits and simply stares at that card for a minute.
Roshin is hugging her doll very tightly and lets out a little whimper when the lights flicker.
Take Rix home and move on. Best of luck. She gets up from the table and walks into a further back room and closes the curtain behind her. Rick seems kind of puzzled and oblivious, and is sort of just like, all right, well, you guys got your fortune. Can we go meet my family now? We can eat dinner. We have all this cool stuff that Rap gave me.
Yes, that sounds good. Let's do that.
Okay. All right.
I'm confused. What was the fortune?
Yeah.
I didn't hear fortune. Where's the money?
Oh, jeez.
So on that super cheery note, oh god, I don't care, Dr. Travis. Fuck off.
And this is why
Sorry.
you use adblock.
I know. Rix will lead you all out of the shop, and will lead you towards presumably his home. You all are sort of tugged, at least for someone almost physically. He would likely grab Roshin's hand, given that Rap is gone, and start tugging her through the city. until you all reach a relatively small building on the outskirts. The city sort of levels out to like one story basically near the outsides. And you get the sense that this is probably where not the wealthiest people in Undercaster live. Although it's a nice city, and the homes all do seem to be, they're homes. They're sturdy. They are well built. But you do see people, roasting some rats on fires outside. Rix leads you to one of the closer buildings and throws open the door before turning back to look at you all. Well, are you all coming? Come on, come meet my family. And he darts inside.
I'll go inside. I have completely forgotten at this point about the scary death fortune thing, and I'm just enchanted by the beautiful city again, and excited to meet his mom. Or brothers, whoever I'm getting to meet.
Awesome. Does everyone else also enter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed.
All right. So, as you walk in, you see a relatively simple, just one-room house. Again, it's nice, but it does seem overall pretty bare bones. And inside, you see two figures, both who look an awful lot like Rick's. And one of them seems to be a little bit older than Rick's, probably close in age, but maybe like a couple of years older, and who is standing essentially above like their like fireplace. They do have sort of a little fireplace, makeshift fireplace with a little chimney. Seems to be stirring something in a pot over the fireplace. And the other is a much smaller child who does indeed seem to have a very sort of like small leg with like sort of a twist at the knee, who is sitting on the floor playing with like what seems like a couple of like carved rocks, just think like wooden blocks, but if they were rocks. You do not see any kind of parental figure. Okay, oh my gosh, so these are all my new friends. Okay, so these are my brothers. This is Trix, and this is Kix. Trix is the older one, Kix is the younger one. And then he turns around, and this is Rasheen. She's really nice, and she's also really fun, and she'll probably play with you. This is Ega. He's really scary, and if you're really mean and try to steal his stuff, he'll hit you with a sword, but also he's really nice if you actually get to know him, so I don't think he'll hit you with a sword. And that's Evect, and that's James. And they're kind of quiet, but they seem cool, and they didn't try to kill me. Evect's kind of scary, though. He makes his eyes glow red, and his voice gets really loud. The kids seem a little off by this introduction, and are sort of like Trix like sort of turns around and is like, "Hello."
How old is Trix? Roughly?
Trix is probably about like 11. Rix was probably about 8. Kix is probably like 5 or 6. Probably like 5. Well, thank you all for bringing my brother home safe. I think you brought him home safe based on the fact that you're here and he is intact. He turns around and gives Rick sort of an affectionate smile, sort of still stirring the pot. Well, I hate to say our mother isn't home at the moment. But if you'd like, I'm making some stew if you all would like any. There's at least a little bowl. I don't know if there's enough for all of you to have a lot, but and Rix will actually run over to him and start chattering to him and showing him the rations that Rap gave him. What do you all do?
I mean, I assume that the kids are terrified of me because he introduced me as, "He'll hit you with his sword."
Thankfully, he put in the last part. Oh, I just stopped. Okay, love that.
was gonna say, when he introduced me, I would have taken the initiative to wave and cast Thaumaturgy to open/close any doors and windows in the vicinity.
Would it have been open or close? The doors likely would have been open, and maybe the window open while they were cooking. So it would probably be closed, unless like, would you want to open and close, or just like close?
Just close. Just hello, and everything slams closed. And because I can choose multiple effects, I'll have my eyes glow red too.
I'll
Trix
jump
sort
to
of
that.
freezes and is like, "We don't want any trouble, mister. Hold on. I'm sure whatever Rix did to you, we can sort out a way to get you taken care of. He's like very scared of you now.
We just wanted to say hi and make sure that Rix is happy
At which point I will
and
just
safe.
smile and wink and drop the Thaumaturgy in one eye and then just kind of bat my head to drop it in the other.
Rix is sort of like you can tell the most wary of the bunch, and sort of like shrugs and relaxes and lowers his shoulder. All right, I mean, fair enough, Mr. Crazy. He mutters crazy under his breath. Kix actually seems delighted by this and claps from his position on the floor. Gee, his eyes did glow. You were right.
Rasheen is giggling just like I did when he does the trick with his eyes.
Yep. And Trix turns to sort of just all of you again and says, "Well, I do appreciate you getting Rix home safe. If you want, you can wait until our mother gets back, but truthfully, I don't know when that will be. She's usually home by now, but who knows what she's doing." And Rix pipes up, "She's probably looking for the fountain again, but..." And he will sort of like look towards a little like mushroom that's growing from the wall that seems to like ever so slowly be changing color. And then sort of tilts his head. "Yeah, you're right though. She's usually back when the mushroom is orange. Oof. Well, hope she didn't get into too much trouble. Then you're gonna have to be the dad, Trix." And Rix starts tickling him, and all of the kids sort of fall into a pile on the floor. Kix and Rix will sort of like continue like giggling and playing with each other for a minute, but Trix seems vaguely like not annoyed, but just sort of does that older sibling thing of like, "All right, come on, people, I have like a stew to stir," and then gets back to tending the stew before, he gives it a little taste. He sort of is like, "I would invite you all to sit down if you wanted to wait, but we don't really have any chairs, so
I mean, I'm just gonna sit on the ground.
make yourselves at home if you'd like to stay, I guess." So,
This fountain that your mother goes to all the time.
she's obsessed with this. It's become an urban legend lately around here. Apparently, there's this like fountain, the crystal fountain or whatever, deep within a cave, and if you find it, and if you I don't know what else you have to do. There was someone who was blabbering all about it, and then it caught on, and all sorts of people have claimed that they've gone to the fountain and received magical, wonderful healing and
Fountain of
whatnot.
Youth?
Fountain of Youth? I don't think so. It can't make you younger, that I've heard. I mean, I guess depending on being old is an ailment. I've just heard it can cure any ailment. Like Kix's leg here. If you're missing an arm, you can grow back your arm. If you're sick, it'll fix you up or whatever. I don't know. Truthfully, we've talked about it, and Mom's been looking for this thing for like over a week, and she keeps going out further and further each time. Like, there's no stopping her. I keep telling her that Kix will be fine as he grows up. He'll get a crutch and he'll be fine. He can go help Mizana or something. But no, she doesn't listen. She's like, "All of my boys must be whole," or whatever. I don't know. Point is, I love my mother, but she's an idiot. So, truthfully at this point, I'm just hoping that she comes back alive, and I'm not left caring for these two nitwits. He says it with a smile, like he doesn't actually mean it, but you do detect some genuineness in his tone.
I will say through this entire conversation, Vivek will have probably gotten really quiet, and you can just see him kind of flexing and messing with his prosthetic arm. Just kind of fidgeting.
Trix would probably not notice this just because Trix is still watching the stew. But as he gets done saying that, he doesn't elaborate and sort of just turns around and takes the pot off the fire.
Where is this fountain supposed to be?
Apparently, from the guy who said that he found it, it's like in the far, like it's, oh, I have to think of directions. Hold on, sorry, this is me. Oh, it's, well, not in the far, but it's north of Undercaster, and in theory, you're supposed to be able to follow these, like, blue crystals, and they'll take you there. And, I mean, apparently people have seen the crystals and stuff, but at least from what I've heard from my mother, like, it's, you know, they don't necessarily, it's not just some sort of straight shot. That's why I wish you wouldn't go. I think people are starting to get lost looking for this thing. At least one person hasn't come back, which isn't good. And truthfully, those who do, well, let's just say I haven't known anyone personally who was healed. Like, sure, that guy came back, and when I left, you're right, I do remember him missing a leg. He did come back with a leg. How did he get the leg? I don't know. Just seems a bit fishy if you ask me. But hey, people love their legends, and, you know, I mean, for all I know, it could be real. I just wish you would let someone else find it. Ugh.
I'm
There's 3
kneeling
kids.
on the floor and hugging my doll and frowning, and she's usually back by now?
Yep, she's usually back by the time the mushroom's orange, and it's, what, green? If it gets to purple tomorrow morning and she's not back, I'll go talk to the city and see what they can do, but what can I say? The mushroom is indeed, by the way, sort of like yellow, turning into green at this point. You could imagine sort of that if purple is next morning, that likely means that the mom has probably been gone at least 2 or 3 more hours than she normally is. So, as you all wait and sit, you know, a little bit of time goes by. Trix dishes out some food, some of the stew to other kids. He does offer all of you a bowl of stew if you'd like some. But he's definitely not pushy about it. You can see that, like, it's not like there's like a great pot of stew. Even the bowls that he ladles out to the other kids are pretty medium sized. These aren't exactly heaping portions. So he's sort of like, you know, if any of you would like a bowl of stew, you know, just let me know, I can grab one for you. But he doesn't really seem to push.
I won't take any.
I'll probably just chew on some of the jerky.
All right. As you all hang out, you know, the kids sort of play with each other. They also, of course, are fascinated by you. Kix in particular sort of hobbles around and wants to look at everything that each of you own, and is sort of scolded by Trix. But eventually, you know, the mushroom is pretty solid green, and you all could guess that it's been at least another hour by this point. And in fact, Trix starts tucking Kix into bed. Sort of turns around and he's like, all right, well, I guess she's not coming home tonight, so look, I don't know if you all want to stay the night. I suppose if you want to try to find her, you could. If you're concerned, but I mean, I don't really have much to offer you except the floor if you were looking to crash. But he seems sort of weary and tired, like he's used to taking care of the other kids, and although this isn't the norm, he seems to just sort of be like, it is what it is. You can definitely tell that he is sort of trying to he is sort of like offering you all an option though, which is either like they are going to start going to bed. So at least Kix is, and even like you notice Rick's is starting to get more tired. You could guess that essentially what he's saying is either that like it's going to be quiet time here, that like y'all like it's basically sleep time, or if you all would like to depart, now's your chance, whatever you want to do after.
I think we need to take any more of your time. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, no problem at all. Have a good night and travel safe, all right? And yeah, thanks again for bringing this rascal home. He ruffles Rix's head and then sees you out, and we'll close the door. So, what do you all do now?
If Rix will let me, I'll give him a hug goodbye.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely brief, you know, like Trix is like, all right, we're getting the kids to bed, like, you know, so it's like a brief hug. But Rix, actually, and I will say before Kix got put to bed, like they all would have wanted to give you hugs. Particularly Rix will give each of you a hug. And he like it clearly like doesn't have anything else to offer, but he does seem very thankful for your help. And beyond that point, unless there's anything you all would have wanted to do before you left, you all stand outside of the three kids' house.
I'm worried about their mom.
And I know we have this mission from the king, but surely it can wait a few days.
If
I
the
wanna
old
make sure
legends
their
taught
mom's
me anything, this sounds like it may just be worth the detour.
Ego, what do you think?
Magic is usually weird.
And
Yes.
you would be the authority on Weird, wouldn't you?
No, you shouldn't do that to
Oh.
them. Shouldn't do that to
Holy shit!
them. I mean,
We go after the mom?
Okay. I wasn't sure since Ega sounded very hesitant. I wasn't sure if
No,
Ega
that
would
was
come
me
along.
asking. That was
So,
me
I will
asking
say,
in character.
in case you all were like, what is this? Yes, you all, if you would like, are more than welcome to go look for the mom. It sounds like that is what you all would like to do. Question mark?
Yep.
That's my vote.
Okay. So, you all would recall that the kids had explained to you that this fountain is at least rumored to be essentially north of Undercaster, in presumably some sort of cave, and there was the mention of blue crystals. So, I will say, does anyone have a way of telling direction under here, given that most of your normal landmarks are not a thing?
Well, and well, I am going to put forth. Do we want to try heading out tonight?
Yeah, I was thinking long rest first.
So what I'm hearing is long rest first. Okay. I will say if you all would like to find accommodations in Undercaster, those would be possible. If you all would prefer to head back above ground, that will also be an option.
Down to stay down here.
Yeah, it'd
pretty
be
here.
much easier to stay down here.
Yeah. Absolutely. So you all are able to head back into the main city of Undercaster, and find, something of an inn, relatively quickly. And rather what you're able to find, is, so between buildings, you see sort of an archway of like glowing, mushrooms. And inside, is sort of this like almost little like courtyard. And there are a couple of little small buildings around. A very large, fat, squat mushroom at the back is sort of sitting, and sort of like both glowing and almost like a humming noise. Like it's not like the mushroom is humming with a voice, but sort of like glowing and humming like a yellow color near the back. As you all sort of enter, or at least approach, the mushroom sort of like raises its like capped head, and it doesn't really have like a usual face. You sort of just see like two friendly looking eyes that blink at you. And then you all would hear a voice actually talking inside your heads. Well, hello there, folks. How's it going?
Hey. Can we?
That's not him.
Is this a place where we can rent some rooms for the night?
Absolutely. You would be at none other than the Fungus Fixation. Mine, truly. And, by the way, my name's Puffball, and I'll be your host tonight. Yes, we have I believe we have 3 rooms available for reservation. And yes, this accent has wandered all over the place, and I've been deciding which one to use, so don't worry about it. I was going for Korg originally, and then I couldn't get Korg, and I don't know why.
Hello, my
My
name's
name's
Korg.
Korg, and I'm a rock. There we go.
You
My
gotta
name's
get that New
Puffball,
Zealand
and I'm
accent.
liking it. I know, it's so hard. It's hard. But yeah. If you all would like one of the rooms are just a silver for a night. They don't really come with any other accommodations, but it's all right. You can come outside to relieve yourselves in the garden. Makes everything grow tall and strong. Any questions?
Look at the. Are we assuming that the others have gathered with us at this point? Like, we didn't just leave James and. Or, yeah, we didn't just leave Rap and.
I'm with you guys.
I mean, we
Yeah,
kind of
sorry,
did
I
leave
meant that,
Rap.
sorry.
So
Did we just
here's
leave
what
Rap?
I'll say. So I will say, I'm gonna time out and say, truthfully, the answer to this is basically no, sort of. But there is a broader question of what you all would like to do. Namely, there's one world where this is our stopping point for tonight, and then we start again next time. That happens. There's also a world in which we essentially continue after the long rest, but we will probably run a little bit over. So,
I
Um,
won't stop.
I am at.
I'm getting a little hungry.
what I will say is there are 3 rooms, so you all will have to probably either quibble who will get an empty room, or what I will say is then in that case likely they will find you. I will worry about with them how they will find you. I will say Enoch would have likely been with you this whole time, maybe got distracted at some points, probably didn't come into Mizana's, but like, so Enoch probably, I'm talking out loud, but Enoch probably would have went with Rap to the university, and I will talk with them and get them away back to you all. And so in that case, you all will take a long rest tonight. We'll resume essentially in the morning after that long rest. I will say, sorry we didn't get to combat. We might have been able to, but we didn't. It just didn't happen, so
I
it was
mean,
still fun.
we had combat.
True, it was brief.
It was 2 initiatives.
This is true. So this is one of those notes where I'm realizing, like, sorry, I didn't include combat. I hope you still had fun. This is more of like a DM being like, hey,
I'm as far as I'm concerned, not every session has to have combat.
Yeah.
I had a great time.
Yeah.
That's how I am. I know we have some mechanical people, and I'm like, oh, I'm trying. I try.
And-
So
I hope nobody felt like I was kind of taking over. I didn't mean to. Sorry if I talked too much.
I've been trying to be out more, but I'm just brain dead tonight.
Yeah,
No, I
I
understand.
haven't really found like a lot of good. It was just that there wasn't a lot of stuff I felt like my character would be like super involved in just yet. In
yeah.
this session,
Mhm.
like I mean, I know that sometimes it can be like this. Like, hey, there's not a lot of stuff. Some days where your character they just wouldn't be too involved in, or like
Yeah.
it wouldn't really catch your attention as much. But
And I will say, it's one thing that I've noticed is just that, like, y'all are a group that I have to draw a little bit more out of your shells in character, and that's okay. Part of the struggle with this campaign format is that I can only customize content so much because part of the
yeah,
reliance on my sanity is having some content be across the group. So I will say that's one of the only things is sometimes I will try and customize content as much as I'm able. I will say that's part of the reason why I'm trying to offer one-on-ones is because one-on-ones are really good if like to sort of like root your character in the world and like do
Yeah.
a little bit of stuff that's more individual to you. I'm beginning to personalize the sessions, but I will say, this is me being honest, that unfortunately there are some parts where like not everything will be pertaining to specific characters. Just because I just sort of have to plan some content for both groups, and that's how it is. Because if I planned entirely different content for 3 separate D&D groups, I would not be sitting here. I would be having a mental breakdown. So that'd be what it be.
So I'm going to say Yvette is going to be very insistent on getting his own room, if possible. So I don't know.
I was gonna
how
say
we
that should be
wanna-
good to work out. Well, there's
Yeah.
going to be a total of 6 of you, and there's 3
That's what I was
rooms.
trying to figure out. Yeah.
Each room
I don't think.
could probably fit like. So I will say, each room will left alone have 2 beds. You could probably fit 3 people to one room if someone sleeps on the floor.
if,
I'll be fine without the bed.
Okay.
with the way that math works out, I'll be fine. Like, I'm not gonna. I think it would be more, but then I need to figure out who my roommate is because I am going to try sneaking out and visiting the fortune teller in the night.
Actually was thinking Roisin, I promise this isn't because we're married. Roisin actually has been wanting to talk to Evict and might offer for them to be roommates.
So I
School
will
or
say,
in the courtyard.
it sounds like Rasheen might want to be roommates with Evect. Would Evect accept, basically?
Yeah. Hello.
I'm thinking. Brain not go fast.
Yeah. I mean, basically,
right
if you want, you
now.
all can also do this in character. I just like I don't want to force it if people are like kind of like, all right, like I'm getting ready to be done. But at the end of the day, your characters are technically standing in front of Mr. Puffball, who has informed you that there are 3 rooms available. So, you all could sort of decide to take those 3 rooms, but then you all are sort of standing there left with the choice of what you gonna do.
We're gonna take the 3 rooms. How much is each room?
I don't know what I said, but I'm gonna say a silver.
Sorry, I didn't hear if you did say sorry.
I do think you
Silver?
said a silver.
Cool.
A silver. That sounds correct. Marked down for no bathrooms or food.
No, there's a massive bathroom.
There is. There is the largest bathroom, the outdoor bathroom. I will say this art looks a little like weirdly menacing. Like imagine that, but if it was like a really friendly expression. Oh no, I like this much better. Hold on, actually I'm changing this art.
Oh. Who's pairing off with whom?
Yes.
Oh, cute.
You know what? Would you be willing to roll a persuasion check to see if you can convince me?
Can I use strength
Well,
as
actually,
for
can
my
we-
persuasion?
Can we actually play
No.
out for a second?
But can I not literally strong arm people?
No, you cannot.
Lame.
said you can. Want to?
Yeah, but everyone else is waiting. It's okay. Persuasion. Oh, you've been doing so well all night.
Yeah.
And
Also, there's vibe art for the fungus fixation. Like, obviously, it's not an open sky, and like, it's not the rooms aren't that big, but like, it's vibe art. You get the point. This sometimes I'll post vibe art. I'll always try and say that it's vibe art. If like, it's like this is not actually how this looks, exactly, but this is the energy it has.
I don't think that Roshin gets to room with.
I
Epic.
mean, I was just going to make you beat my passive perception, which is 10.
Does
so,
meat beat?
Yep.
Oh, cool. I guess we're rooming. Cool.
Yep.
I'm not a perceptive individual, okay?
We'll just say, I mean, you know, y'all. I will say that sounds like a role play thing between y'all. Y'all role play that however you want to. I will say on the other front, Ega and James so far are sort of, unless y'all have made moves, kind of just staring at each other, holding the keys to 2 rooms.
Hey, I'll take a room.
Yes, but with
They don't
whom?
need it. I'll take it.
Us.
I will say,
I mean, as long as
y'all-
I can sit in a corner.
your characters might not necessarily like. No, your characters would know that, like, you know, likely, like, you know, the other group would find you somehow, or at least I'll give you this information, which is if your characters would choose off to split between separate rooms, as players, I guess, and I'm sorry, this is sort of meta, but it has to be, know that your character will not be sharing a room alone. Each of them will likely just sort of like filter in and be like, oh, I guess like this person's in here. Well, I'm gonna sleep. So it's your choice between
So
a
I guess
known
I'm paying.
or an unknown.
I'm paying for my room then.
If you would like to, I sent you the question, so I will say you're able to lock the door. So if you would want to take a room and lock the door and not open it when anyone knocks, you could do that.
Well, I mean, I have the key.
This is true. You do.
I mean, I
How
am
do I put this?
paranoid.
If both of you decide to take the other rooms separately, individually, and lock your doors, and will not open when someone knocks, that's where we're going to pick up next time. And you all will not necessarily get the benefit of a long rest, depending on how that particular interaction goes. I'm guessing you will, but, you know, depends on how much y'all are possessive of your sleeping space.
Good point.
We're a party. Can we
Them's the facts. Them's the facts.
collab? Can we cooperate a little?
Well, yeah, we can. We cooperated very well when I beat that kid.
I mean, I feel like you could be the kind of characters where Ega and James would just both stare at each other and go like, I don't trust you. I don't trust you either. Room together? I guess.
Hey, I've
I'll
already
watch the whole
taken the
night.
silver. I've already taken the silver off my inventory.
So, I mean, I guess I'm going to put it down to, regardless of, like, how you want to roleplay it in character, as players, or, what are your characters going to do? There's an element of, I understand that, like, your character may have to, if you want to accommodate, like, other members of the party, you may have to bend a little bit what your character would actually do.
So, my
but-
character would just take the room, lock the door. If someone were to knock, they'd probably try to wait it out, unless they're persistent.
Okay, I will make a note of that. It shouldn't be an issue, but if I would say if someone was persistently knocking and you opened it and it was like Rap or Enoch, would you let them in?
I'd probably talk to them at the door first.
Okay, sounds good. That is good to know. We will come back to that at some point. I will say that will at least currently leave you with the other room, Ega. So do let me know what your character would do if someone does knock at your door.
Yeah, I am thinking, because I could just bend for the party, basically. Making it a bit making it a bit easier, you know, because
For the record, I'm not
Yeah.
asking you to not roleplay your characters.
No,
I'm
I
just
kn- I
letting
know,
you
I
know
know.
that if you do, it may not just be like, all right, you all wake up after a long rest. It's more going to be like, Rap, like, starts frantically knocking at Eolra and Evek's door and is like, the others won't let me in! But I will say, it also, like, you know, will give the opportunity for some roleplay scenes, which I'm not opposed to. So, you do you. I think it's more of just like, if your characters would lock the door and not open or talk to anyone or not try to figure out anything, there may be some bad blood in the party when we next convene, which I'm okay with, but y'all gonna have to figure out.
I think
Fair enough.
Yvette and Eora would end up locking the door since there are already 2 of them in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Yes.
are we
Mhm.
splitting it 5 copper apiece?
We can. I already took the silver off, so.
Oh, okay.
Look at Evect, treating you to a room and everything. So, I will say, you can also think about it. You're welcome to think about it and let me know. You do just have to let me know before the next session. I will say, then the only other thing is that I would appreciate coordinating maybe some one-on-ones or private separate things, James, before next session. So just let me know when you're available.
I've actually got something this time.
Okay.
I was
I
actually
wasn't sure I wasn't sure about this week since I was a little busy this week, but probably this coming week would probably be very good for me.
Okay, yeah. And then the only other thing is, I may, if it's okay with you, we may do a 3-person where someone will knock on your door and then you will have the chance to have a little talk, but I will just be there watching like a creeper.
All right.
Anyway, we'll talk. We'll figure it out.
I actually wanted
not like
to
a
do
creeper,
a 3-person as well.
Okay.
Because I wanted, the whole reason that I wanted to room with Evect is because I wanted to have Roshin chat with Evect.
Awesome. And then yes, Mike, just let me know what your character would do, and based on that, you will either potentially be a source of resentment, everything will be
for
fine,
sure.
or you'll get a fun roleplay scene, or you let someone in and nothing dramatic happens. I don't know. Just let me know what your character would do.
Yeah, I'm thinking. It's difficult. 6 a.m.
You think?
I understand. That's why, like, you can let me know later. I like to clearly lay out options when I know that things will happen. It's one of those, this is one of those moments where I don't want y'all to, like, be blindsided if no one does let anyone in. And the next, like, time we meet, Rap is like, bro, what the fuck? I had to sleep in the middle of the Underdark. Excuse me?
Oh yeah, Ryoko. No, I get it.
that's all.
Yeah. You're probably.
But,
Oh yeah. And I was gonna contact you about doing a one-off about me sneaking off
So,
to the fortune teller. So.
yes, 100%.
So you did
I'll let you
manage
prep for
to
that, but we
grab
will
the
figure
last
that out.
bit
Yes,
of
anyone
this
that would
D&D
like to sneak off
session. We're
the
basically
fortune
just doing a
tellers,
bit
yes.
of
Okay, I will
That's
prep.
why I'm trying to
logistics
warn
for
you.
next
And you?
session right
Okay.
now. So it
Yes.
might be a bit
any others of you who
difficult
go,
to.
you're also free to let me know, even in DMs, if your character would go. And also, we'll sort everything out between now and next session. So aside from that, once you all let me know, like sort of, and I will say, I would appreciate if everyone just send me a text of what their character is doing with their room, just so that I remember, because my memory is questionable, and that would just give me a really helpful thing for next time. So like, if y'all just send me a super quick thing of like, maybe for you two, like, we're rooming together and like, just if y'all will just send me a quick thing about this, I can also try and remember it. But it would just be really helpful if y'all would send me that. Thank you. Aside from that, that is the end of our official session for today. You all shopped, fought a kid, almost
Kicked
killed a
his
kid,
ass!
and then saved the kid's life, got a really mysterious and disturbing fortune, and are tomorrow potentially,
Infighting.
planning on setting out to find the mother if she is still missing. So that's what will happen next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Neat.
All of you, sorry, I like doing a little official ending to the session. It makes me happy. It tells my brain that it's done, and then I'm like, okay, I don't have to worry about that anymore. Until next time on Dragon Ball Z. I will say, if anyone does want to hang out and take care of a roleplay anything right now, I do have free time right now. Otherwise, if everyone is like, no, we are tired, we are going to bed, we are doing other shit, that is cool. I will leave. I merely let you know that there is space now. So, capiche, kabosh, kaboosh.
I did want to ask, will we be seeing you on Tuesday?
Tuesday? It's a Tuesday?
Ug's gymnastics thing?
Oh, that's a Tuesday. Yeah. Yeah. I don't have anything
It's
on that
okay
day.
if not. It's
No.
So yeah, little Yoko, sorry, but you did like get like the last 10 minutes maybe. Well, thank you guys for showing up. If you liked, leave a follow. If you really enjoyed, consider subscribing or donating. What was I trying to say? Leave a follow, consider subscribing, donating. This will continue in 2 weeks, and I'll probably be live again Saturday evening with another D&D campaign, and otherwise I might go live tonight, Friday evening, with some Overwatch or some other gaming. Anyway, hope you all have a good night and see you later.